I love how they're supposed to be very intellectual and they love debates, but we're not allowed to see that. No, 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 no. Well, someone mentioned patrician earlier. One of his points in his extraordinary his 20-hour long review, not review, analysis retrospective on Skyrim is how all of the dragons act like they're big stupid monsters and none of them act like they're actually intelligent creatures. So you have it's just like the Institute, you wouldn't understand. Like you have these things, these creatures who are supposed to be intelligent, like very intelligent, you know, probably more so than the average mortal, like, you know, and yet they just act like big dumb lizards to fight. They don't actually show any intelligence. And like he brings up how it's like they all just like breathe fire and attack things. They don't do anything smart. They don't attack places. They don't show any intelligence or conceivable like plot or planning to their actions. They're big lizards that just breathe different flavors of fire, and that's it. And yeah, because they are monsters as far as the game is concerned. Bethesda videos are on your essay rotation. Well, yeah. Bethesda can only write what they know, so they never see into the intellectual side of dragons. Well, I'm of the opinion they don't focus on the farms and siege the cities. No, of course not. I'm of the opinion that a lot of Bethesda believes the things that they say about their games. So when they say that their games have like this plot point or like this interesting, like, oh, the story is talking about this, that, and the other thing, when they say that, they believe it. I think some of those devs truly think they are making these amazing things, these things that are talking about this, that, and the other thing, and that are so deep in how the mechanics and, oh, look at... They say that stuff, and they truly buy their own BS. You know? I like, especially with, like, Emil. With Emil and all of his stories and what he writes, he thinks he is writing, with his games, the great American novel. Like, he thinks he's writing amazing stuff, and he gets upset when people don't think it's as amazing as he does. You know? Or when people ignore it, you know? His thought of when people ignore the story in the games isn't that the story is poor in some way, it's that clearly people don't care about story in games as much as they should, because otherwise, why are they not paying attention to my amazing work in Fallout 4 with the Institute and the Railroad? Oh, it's this man's.
Astonished. There was one thought so. After Lord Moak's, it appears his body and taken straight. Surely you recall that after failing him, and I'd do anything.
Right, he's a...
What could they possibly have the implicate? What could the implicate?
Wish they spoke to each other while developing games and had central design documents. They just think it's gonna come together, and then when they get Hansbach is best. they think that he's a cool character. That, sorry, I'm getting distracted with like 7 different conversations. I will bounce between conversation points as I read things. Yeah, I like this character's interesting, and he's got a neat little arc with how he turns out. Great games are played, not made. Oh my god, that fucking speech at that game development conference in Denmark or what have you. I think it was Denmark. Doesn't really matter. But like, yeah, great games are played, not made. Which, what the fuck are you, like, how do you even begin to consider what that is supposed to mean? What are you talking about? Great games are played, not made. Fucking excuse me? Hype more moments and aura type shit. Like, I don't like, and see, that's the thing is, like, you know, I think there was like a thing where like Emil, I don't think, I don't, you know, it's mean. I feel like it's mean when it's someone who like, I don't personally know to call them, or haven't, like, personally had experiences with, so I don't like saying, oh, Emil is stupid, or Emil is dumb, or maybe even like Emil's not as intelligent as he probably thinks he is. But like, so much of it comes to, I don't think Emil is as intelligent as he thinks he is. And stuff like that kind of quote is like, what? Him having like a thing on his desk where he said, it says like, he has like a little like desk art thing that says like, it says it is what it is what he has on his desk. And it's like, oh no. Emil has also said he gets sort of manic stream of consciousness when trying to get things done. Like, it's funny because it's like, you can make something, like, I don't know, like, you can... Like, I don't know, because I'm trying to think, like, when I take notes, when I've taken notes for, like, anything almost, I've done... I kind of write sort of manically. Like, if you were ever, if any of you heard me take notes during the Starfield streams, or the I know a lot of you weren't here last year for the Fallout 4 streams, but like, whenever I would tab out to take notes, they were sometimes like just, maybe not, they were like just, they were crazy. They reading them back afterwards, it's like, man, this is nuts. I know what I'm saying, but like, this sounds insane. But the thing is that you then take that and you sort of, you take that and you hone it down into something sensical. I didn't just take the manic notes I wrote while playing Fallout 4 and then turn that into my video script for Fallout 4. Tearing out pages and making paper airplanes will go down as one of the most out-of-touch things a developer has said about how players engage with stories, game stories. Well, again, that is clearly like him being like, man, they didn't like my story. Clearly, they don't care about stories and games. They stopped doing the main quest for a couple hours to do some side stuff. They're not ruining your story. It's a live, laugh, love tier, yeah. After publicly criticizing Will Shen's work in front of the rest of the team, you don't feel bad for judging Emil? I think Emil is... Because Emil's had several... He's had several games now where he's like... He's had 2 Fallout games where he was like chief creative man. And both are bad. And... like, I think it's a case of like... He's really upset that after 2 Fallout games, people are still like, man, they don't like my stuff. Could it be me, possibly? No, it has to be them. It's everyone else's fault. You know, he had that crash out, that like mini crash out on Twitter after Starfield released, and whatever he ends up working on next, I can't wait to see how he like loses his mind after the same thing happens for the 3rd time, where people go, Emil, this isn't good. Emil, you're not good at this. You know, wow, look, the story in whatever, in Fallout 5 is dumb, you know? You'll make paper airplanes from any of the pages of any book he ever releases because he's so insistent on writing novels. I still want to know why he... Yeah, he got a tattoo of like the House Varun thing. And, he got a tattoo of House Varun and said that while writing House Varun's snake lore, that he had like religious epiphanies. He had like existential religious crises or whatever of faith. And it's like, uh-huh. And it's like, I almost believe him. And it's like, my God, that's how bad of a writer he is. A Twinkie Factory comment. Yeah, he doesn't know how the Twinkies are made, so, you know, again, like, it's the worst argument. It is the dumbest. It's an argument that has been around for a while, and it's been like thoroughly trashed on the internet. The argument of well, you've never made a movie, you've never made a video game, you've never made this, that, or the other thing, so you are not allowed to criticize, like, you can't criticize it. And it's like, motherfucker, you're charging people money for this. And again, it comes back to the I love food analogies. If you're gonna watch this channel or this stream or anything, you're gonna learn I love food analogies, because food analogies are everyone eats food, everyone gets it, and it's one of those things where it can be made so definitive where it's like, if you go to a restaurant and you order a steak and you say, I want this steak medium rare, and it comes out to you well done, and you go, excuse me, this steak is well done, I ordered it medium rare, and the fucking chef comes out and says, well, you don't know how hard it is to be a chef. You've never been a chef. You've never worked in a restaurant. You don't know how hard it is to make a steak mid-rare. So you can't complain about this. You would feel like you're in the fucking Twilight Zone. You would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, like, if you ordered something and it came out completely different, if you ordered something and it was fucking covered in shit, if it was covered in mold, you would be in, people would think, you would think someone's insane if they were trying to defend that by saying, well, you don't know how hard it is to make food in a restaurant. So it's funny how, like, some people, like, you know, Emil and the Twinkie Factory thing is, it's like, no, you can't use that as an excuse. This isn't a case of you making something and, like, giving it out freely, or like you doing something and, like, being like, you're charging money for a product. There is an expectation on the end of the person purchasing the product that it is going to be of, you know, some sort of quality, or some sort, it's going to be the thing, you know, you advertised and stuff like that. And also that you're going to be you are going to be subject to criticism of that product, you know? If you paid for it, you have more than a right to say you didn't like it. God, even if you didn't pay for it, I think you have a right to say you didn't like it. You refuse to accept any constructive criticism. It's immediate ceiling for any medium. Yeah, again, it's an immediate... Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. The fact that Emil doesn't seem to, like, get any sort of, like, criticism, like, or he doesn't seem to accept any criticism, it is like a point where it's like he will not get better because he does not think he has to improve at all. He does not think he has to... I don't think he'll take criticism unless he absolutely needed to. Yeah, no one's... Yeah, again, like, you know, he needs 3 crises of fate. Well, Starfield looks inside. What if 3 silly religions had 3 different perspectives on the same stupid story? Very intellectual stuff right there, yeah. You know what? It's interesting. So it's interesting because, like, I just thought of something, like, okay, one of the weirdest things, of many of the weirdest things in Starfield, is the total lack of, like, any of the old Earth religions making it to space, which is really fucking strange to me. And it's interesting how, like, Emil consistently... Emil's talk, like, when he goes, like, about his fucking, like, upbringing as, like, a Catholic in Boston... when he was doing the Dark Brotherhood questline in Oblivion, he talks about it being influenced by Catholicism, which I think is nuts, but whatever. Like, you know what would be really interesting? Imagine you, Emil, decide to tackle the idea of how do Earth religions exist and change, and how do people theologically, like, start addressing the fact that Earth is gone. And that, like, all of the places, all of the holiest sites, all of, like, the holiest, like, all of human stuff, like civilization and history is gone. And the sort of, I guess you would say, crisis of faith that could... The crisis of faith, but also maybe the deepening faith of people who are now essentially, you know, struggling, like, that are essentially homeless in space, that are forced to adapt to a world that is not the cradle, and stuff like that. And how do these religions change and shift and grow, and how do people's ideas of faith are, you know, reinforced or shaken because of that? No, instead we're gonna make 3 dumb religions that are all just fucking stupid. Okay. And you're... said that the astronauts weren't bored when they went to the moon. Yeah. Trust the science, bro. Near extinction experience would bring people to the faith much more than anything else. It's funny because I'm gonna use it's actually a thing about there was 3. Yeah, there's the Varun snake religion. There's whatever the fuck, the Mateo in the guys who wear the weird hats. There's that religion, and then there's the 3rd religion, which is literally atheists that are a religion. No, I'm not making that up. And there is on I think on one of the generation ships there's one Jewish person, and that's it. Yes, there's the Jewish man, yeah, on that colony ship. So, but like, oh, man, it's so lame. And that wraps back around into the whole like. So, like, losing Earth would be the single greatest event in terms of its effect in human history. The homeworld is gone, melted, along with most of humanity. Like, it's fucking, I still, like, just thinking about it again, most of humanity is dead. Like, what are you, like, Earth is gone, it's a desert, everything is destroyed, and humanity, like, billions of people have died, and for some reason, it doesn't seem to matter. Nobody gives a shit. Does this one say? Seems that people of the keep had flooded the holy quarter that leads to the Skadoosh tree. Barring access, however, there's a route that leads there from the storehouse. Oh. Oh no, that's not it. I thought I'd climb up his... Is the way back here, or is it forward? I'll do a little forward exploring. A little creepy how little anyone... It's creepy how little anyone cares about anything. Like, anyway, Elden Ring, yeah. And now the Cheetah Men. It's even sillier that they're basically atheist. Gee, that registers as a religious group. Because atheist has a big stigma in the future somehow. That one is like bizarre. What if atheists, and it's like I don't know, like atheists organizing as a religion feels really silly. Like, guys, I think you missed the memo. That guy was a real jerk. They just finally admitted it. Well, like, yeah, it's like, I don't, like, what, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh yeah, we're, like, okay, atheists having, like, an organization of atheists. Yeah, that's fine. That makes sense. That's, like, if it's like a fan, it's a club where United Atheists, whatever, like, sure, I don't care. Like, that's perfectly reasonable. People, I'm really thirsty. Give me a sec. People do that shit all the time. Have my character's eyes changed? People, like, you know, organize into groups like that all the time. But, like, a religion. What? Oh, no, they just look weird in the light. It's like that just seems like completely contradictory. You're not religious. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in a, like, what? And it comes back to, like, Emil, it's like, what did you write? Like, what do you, like, Emil, what do you think you wrote when you did this? Like, what were you trying, like, I don't understand, like, because it's like, I don't think Emil's trying to make some sort of point about how atheists are actually, like, religious, or, like, you know, or something, like, I don't get, like, what are they trying, like, what is, it's, and this is what happens with so much of Starfield. Humanitarian organization, sorry, I used your language acronym. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, I was guessing you meant something like, we would call something like an NGO is something, like a non-governmental organization. That's how we would use it. But like, it comes back around to having to constantly question everything about everything in the universe, because, and like trying to figure out, like, what were you trying to say with this, Emil? You know, you're Christian. Atheists are typically seen as either anti-Christian or nihilistic folk. Can't say they get it. But it's just like, I can understand being like if it's like a clubhouse for, like, you want to share, I don't know, you know, ideas that are not religion. I don't know. But when you say, like, you're a religion, it's like, yeah, we don't believe in God. We don't believe, not even that, like, not even don't believe in God, but don't believe a God, like, exists. And it's like, but we're like an organization, we're signing up and being a religion. Like, what? And then let's not even get started about House Varun. They barely exist in the base game. That was shocking to me, where it's like, these guys aren't, like, a thing. It's like, yeah, they exist. You can find some NPCs that, like, belong to it, but there's just, like... And it's, like, literally just, like, a case of, like, oh, this is explained in the DLC, in the expansion. There isn't a reason to unite as atheists. Did the atheists make like a religion for tax benefits? Yeah, maybe. So often, how do you bond over a lack of something? Yeah, I know, it's like a clubhouse for not golf, for people who don't golf. I understand, but they often talk about how much they don't like religion and how they think it's dumb and how everyone would be better off if they were not religious, and they often have. That's a part of it, but also they seem to they like, there's like a crossover with them liking sort of scientific stuff, very like pop science stuff, going towards like humanistic ideologies and sort of like philosophies, stuff like that. Dude, you're so pissed doing Andrea's questline because it literally just ends. Why would you, like, yeah, that's just cool. Of course it does. The game isn't finished. Of course, the game is like a fucking hydra with 1,000 heads pulling itself in 1,000 different directions, and some of those directions just end up in a brick wall. So yeah. There's no head on any of the necks. It's all neck. Never realized you had so much neck.
Clean off the page.
I hate those Messmer fires so much. Spirit Calcicus? Calculus. Calculus? What? Spirit math? So what I'm trying to say ultimately is that Emil is the greatest writer of our time, and I'm so looking forward to Fallout 5 and the other games they make. Starfield 2. Did you see that place that puts the coils on women's necks to elongate them? Yeah, it's just all neck. Calculus is like an organic calcium buildup. Okay. Thinking about Tez 6 is dread-inducing. I'm of the opinion. Do you? Okay, I have a couple thoughts I want to get out here. Okay, we talked a lot about Emil. I'm of the opinion that Emil isn't very smart and is a very, very, very poor writer. Doesn't actually elongate their neck; it just pushes their rib gauge down. Oh God, why did you tell me that? Curse of knowledge. So I think that Emil is not very intelligent and is one of the worst writers. I think Todd doesn't give a shit. I think Todd doesn't give a shit anymore. I think Todd just doesn't. He knows the products are gonna sell, and so he's just like, yeah, whatever. We're gonna sell. We're probably gonna make enough money, like make money off of this. So whatever, I don't care. So I hear Todd, please forget about the trailer. Yeah. I also think another thing I want to say. Do you think we're ever gonna see anything Starfield related again? Like, do you think they're ever gonna try to do a Starfield 2 or any sort? Like, that's it. It's dead, right? There's no way. They're not gonna ever try to waste money on that shit again. Todd has a family. He did his time chasing clout. I think the games describe it as all the structure, support the community with therapy and access to charities and stuff without theistic elements, which seems bizarre and convoluted. Yeah. Genuinely no. I think we will never see Starfield ever again. They will not. It's going to be like once bitten, twice shy. You are not going to see another IP from Bethesda, like a new IP attempt, for 15 years, longer maybe. World building like that breaks your brain. No, yeah.
Oh, I'm afraid I should have asked Ansbach. Truly. I should have.
God, they were probably so excited for Starfield. They thought like it was going to be. I think they thought that Starfield, it was going to be the three pillars of Bethesda: Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and then boom, Starfield, the newest pillar in the Bethesda, IPs, Bethesda Game Studio IPs. And nope. I also think, I was going to say, as a similar, no, I think we've talked about it before, but like, they're never going to let anyone make anything else with their IPs, are they? They're not going to do anything else for, like, spin-offs. I hate New Vegas succeeded. No other New Vegases. Like, cause it feels so strange where it's like you have these huge IPs, Fallout, the Elder Scrolls. I almost said Skyrim. Sorry, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and like there's just the games, the mainline games, and then nothing else ever happens. There's no reason for a group like that to exist, or at least self-style as atheists. They would just be a part of the larger community. It is weird how it's not like, it's like Atheist United thing, when it could just be like, I don't know, like just like a local charity. Like it could be like a fucking agnostic, like, you know, or just like not even like a we don't care, we're just trying to help people, like a charity, like a charity. You know, where it's like we don't care, we just want people who are willing to like do things and help people, you know? What am I trying to say? Like a humanitarian organization, or like a what's the word I am looking for? What's the word? Not like a non-profit. Yeah. What's the word? Philanthropy. Like just doing philanthropy, just helping people. They got the mag volley weapon so wrong it makes your head go butchy. Fucking yeah. It's a TV series now. Don't remind me. Oh boy, I'm so excited to have to rewatch the second season of that TV show. It's gonna be real good. I can't. Oh man. Oh. They forced the Obsidian devs in a room to watch a slideshow about all the things. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I know a lot. Some people who really don't like. It was what's his face? It was Chris Avalon, right? I know some people were like, I don't believe anything that Chris Avalon says. He's full of shit. That's bullshit. Or like, oh, that's just something that they normally do with like, you know, stuff. And it's like, I don't know. Ow. Eat shit. You surprised Bethesda wasn't downscaled and divided into Fallout Studios and Test Studios yet? I wonder, and again, we don't know because they love to imagine a healthy working environment from a boss that shows you a PowerPoint of everything you did wrong. It's hard to it's hard to get like the solid numbers on how these games do, because they're always obfuscated and like different consoles, different platforms. Does Game Pass count? How much does Game Pass count? All of these different things. So it's hard to get like that nailed down 100%. Like how many copies did Skyrim? How many copies did Skyfield sell? How much did it cost to make Skyfield? It's hard to nail that down, so we can never, like, we're never probably gonna know for certain, like, how well or poorly it did. Did it meet expectations? Was it below expectations? How below expectations was it? Was it a moderate success? Was it a great success? Was it a moderate failure? Was it a huge failure? But I bet they thought that, I'm of the opinion that Starfield did well, but probably nowhere near well enough. Probably nowhere near as well as they expected, as well as Bethesda and Microsoft expected. I thought they probably were considering that this is a brand new IP by Bethesda, the guys who make those games that everyone loves, and that this is going to do, like, this is going to be the next big thing. This is going to sell so many it's going to be like a Skyrim, where we're going to be reprinting this game, you know, essentially to sell it on every console and every system that comes out for the next decade. It's going to have 5 re-releases and all this sort of shit, because why wouldn't it? It's a new IP by the open world game guys. It's a new IP by the guys who made Skyrim 5, the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, and Fallout 4, you know, like, and so they probably set their expectations high. Like, basic Googling, I got anywhere from 200 to 400 million costing the game. You know, some maybe say 150, some 200. Like, it's, you know, like not an insignificant amount of money. And I don't think it did as well. And so my ultimate point of this whole thing is to say that I think that there is probably more than a little bit of, like, sweaty collars at Bethesda. And, like, going like, ugh, oh boy, whew, oh boy, you know, like, you know, oh God, if we don't deliver as, you know, if we don't deliver enough in the next game, we're fucked, aren't we? Like, because Microsoft spent an obscene amount of money on us. It cost an obscene amount of money, and it took a long time to make Starfield. And boy, did that thing not turn out as well as we were hoping. And, like, you know, like, Microsoft, like, I've seen it both ways, where people are like, they wouldn't do anything to Bethesda because they like having Bethesda as, like, a name. But I don't know. I feel like Microsoft would be like, whatever, we'll fucking kill it. We'll murder Bethesda if we have to, if they're not making us enough money, because we don't give a shit. You know, what is one? We have a bunch of game companies, so what? You know, they would still own Fallout and everything, and yeah. They could do whatever the fuck they want, you know? So, like, and I know they would own Bethesda, the developer, or publisher, as well as the developer. Like, and, like, you know, game studios would maybe be broken up or like, extremely shifted or changed or altered in some way, and then they would, you know, give it to some other dev or whatever that they own or that they have. And so I bet Todd and Emil and all those guys are like, "Rrr."
Freya, she must be feeling the need. A true red mane she is, but no one. She has a... Perhaps our concern... Well, what... Yes, even the truth. As if using Lord Moog to gain entrance to the land of shadow were not enough, he plans to use his corpse. He has forsaken. It beggars, but I'm afraid Tentamicola fails to grasp the humiliation implied by this act.
You're a Halo fan. As a Halo fan, you're gonna be real. This shit feels inevitable. Oh yes, well, it's the Red Letter Media. How does it feel to see all your favorite franchises go down in flames? It feels great. these, you know, all these.
You have given me, but I can hardly. I am a war. Curse it all. I could spend
the like, you know, all these games are just like falling to pieces. All these franchises. Oh god, did you see? So apparently they're making, well, let me see if I can pull up the tweet. I had the tweet. They're gonna use AI during the design process. I saw a tweet, and as you know, okay, here we go. So they're making a Far Cry television show. So it's happening. It's happening where it's like more and more. Hollywood has finally, like, Hollywood, a decade late, has finally realized that video games make more money than they do as Hollywood. And you know, they realize, like, oh, them video game things, people buy that stuff. Them kids love them video games. So they're making a Far Cry television show, and so the guy, I think one of the leads behind it, you know what he said? He said the Far Cry series won't be adapting any of the games, as he thinks audiences skip the story cutscenes in those games. When you play a video game, you only this is a quote. When you play a video game, you only really move forward through the gameplay section, and then you have these cutscenes that you can skip. So when you're going to adapt those games, you have to be aware that makes the human drama kind of irrelevant to the storyline. End quote. Yeah, well, I don't know. See, and again, this is what they expose there is a failure to. You know what they expose there? It's a ignorance of the medium of games. So to them, gameplay doesn't have any story. Gameplay doesn't have any story. Gameplay and story in a video game to this moron are completely segregated. There is no way that a game could inform its story through gameplay.
By my lord.
Right? It's only ever the cutscenes, and then the gameplay is just, pressing jump to make Mario go up the blocks. That's it. There's no story. I fucking quote tweeted that, and I said, video game adaptations are handled not just by people that know nothing about them, but also actively hate them and the medium. It's the only explanation for this. They think video games are garbage and only use them because they are popular and profitable. These are people who think that video games are a lesser form of art. They don't think they are art in many cases. They think they can't tell stories the way, because video games do something differently than movies or television. They think that they're shit and wrong and nowhere near. And it's honestly, it's so frustrating how thing after thing, adaptation after adaptation of these games are clearly given to people who don't care about video. They don't like video. They think that it's shit. They think that video games are shit garbage for children. They don't actually give a shit. Expect a lot of Fallout shows in the near future. Yep. We are using the name of the game, and we do not give a fuck about the original. Yep. Oh. Yep. Oh, Hollywood pretty much hates everything but themselves. Anything but themselves, yeah. Bunch of these people, like Diablo, StarCraft, Johns, that are typically not super concerned about story, plot, gameplay. Yeah, that's the thing though, is that video games have differences than are different to movies and television, but there are people who don't realize that they're doing things differently. It's one of the main things where it's video games don't have to tell stories like how movies do it or how television does it. It can do it in its own way because it's a different medium. It's one of my things where I don't like how when people try to use think of examples of good video game stories, they always use games that tell their stories through almost solely cutscenes. They point to games. I hate to use. I know. Forgive me if you like a lot of these games. The Sony movie game, as they are described, where it's just a cutscene where the characters emote, and it's wow, this is really good, but this really isn't a video game kind of thing. If I was going to use an example of a video game with a good story, I would use something like Mass Effect, where there's a lot of cutscenes in Mass Effect, but you are given a ton of choice and options through those cutscenes and conversations. And it's the interactivity is what makes that a good video game story in addition to the characters and the plot.
I'm afraid.
But yeah, so any adaptation of a video game is gonna be doomed to be cursed. How do we drain the water in where's the secret path to go drain the water? Do I have to go fight Flamey Boy first, or can I do it now? I'm assuming it's go up the rafters. Is Detroit Become Human enough of a game, or is it also a movie game? Detroit Become Human, I would argue, is it's more so like a visual novel. It's like a visual novel with quick time events. I would say it's like barely a game. In relation to this, Bloodborne movie makes you curious because of how layered the story is. So many past groups and important characters are all connected. Yeah, I do think that that's going to be hard to do those kind of things. I feel like I feel like you can't really do like if you have to think of like a specific story to tell in the world of Bloodborne. You have to take like, we're going to tell the story of this character that we either invented or we took from the lore, and it's going to be their specific story of them doing whatever in the world of Bloodborne or whatever. Enjoyed Cyberpunk is probably the first story game you were into. Your favorite game story is about your time playing RuneScape. You find games from Telltale like The Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us to be less movies than a lot of the Sony movie games. I agree, because they are making the sort of story the gameplay in a way where it's like a lot of those Sony movie games, it's like generic third-person combat that doesn't really feel very particularly amazing, and then then cutscenes with characters, and it's like they feel very separated from each other. Like they don't. It's like you're not really telling too much of the game or of the story through the gameplay. It's just me sneaking around and stabbing people or whatever. Where the Telltale games, it's like your choices are that's it. Like that is the gameplay and that is the story. The way you talk to people when you choose to do option A instead of option B, that is the gameplay. You were told the God of War reboots were great games. Maybe it's a hot take, but basically mediocre movies with short interactive segments. I have never played any of the God of War games. I'm not a fan of that series. I have played the first God of War reboot, whatever, and I never finished. No, I don't remember if I ever finished it. Now that I think I think I finished it, but I was not impressed. I was not impressed with the story or the gameplay of the God of War rebooty thing. Wonder if a person like that gave them a controller and told them to play something like Outer Worlds or Journey, would they think those games that tell stories almost completely through gameplay have no stories? Yeah, probably. They would probably think that, yeah. You wish the Elden Ring movie would be pre-game political drama with neat fight scenes, maybe like with Godwin. I have no fucking idea what that movie's gonna be. I'm gonna be curious to see how much of a mess that's going to be. But yeah, I do think that if you had a game, if you showed them a game like, wrong spell, fuck. If you showed them a game, these people like who think like, you know, cutscenes in video games, like that person making the Far Cry thing. If you showed them, let's say, something like Half-Life or Half-Life 2, I think Half-Life 2 would be a good example because there are no cutscenes. They would think it has no story. They would think there is no story in Half-Life. They would think they would not think that there's a plot. You know? Like, at most, it would be like a convenience to just push the gameplay. God, it's been 5 hours already. How do we switch? I gotta look back. How we switch water? I'm gonna have to Google this. Elden Ring. What is this? Study hall? Study hall water. Not the study hall. What is this place called? The specimen hall? Storehouse. Storehouse. Okay. Oh, do you not do it from the storehouse? You do it somewhere different? Wait, why is it saying that there's like a way through the storehouse to do it? Oh, whatever. Whatever. So I got to the church district end. I came around the path. I came all the way around here to the church district, and it was flooded. Can I go? Do I just have to do a bunch of platforming to get around to drain it? What was this note saying then? Where was it? People have flooded. However, there's a route that leads there from this storehouse. There's another. Oh, from somewhere else. I didn't read the rest of it. So yeah, okay. I got it. Okay, I could do that. Or we could try. I don't know if I have it in me to try to fight. Man's this night. Bale took it out of me. That was fucking. That was. Whew. Crab. What is the lore on crabs in this world? Why are there crabs? Are crabs also aliens from space? Thank you. Crab lore. Crab. So why would I do that platforming again when I could just fast travel back to the thing? The prawns would be, not the crabs. Crab. Depends on the crab. Some. Oh my. Fuck you. I can't fucking believe I'm actually getting crab lore. What the fuck? Is there fucking anything in this game that is just like, oh yeah, that's just like a bird? Depends on the crabs. Some crabs absorbed Godwin's death root because of the world's recycling system. Lol, no, very few things. Some think that the crabs, lobsters are huge because death doesn't happen, so they just keep growing. Huh. Thank you for letting me precast. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. Is that an ulcerated tree spirit? Thank you, game. Cool jumping. Cool. Oh, even here you can't escape. It is an ulcerated tree spirit. Great. My favorite enemy in the game. Almost everything in Elden Ring is intentional, symbolic, metaphorical, or lore relevant. Cool. Birds. There are birds that exist in the game. How are the birds related to some lore? I see the birds. How are they do they have lore, or are they just birds? What Lovecraftian elder god are they connected to? Lobsters live a long time anyway. Technically, in real life, lobsters are almost immortal. They only die because they start having trouble molting as they grow larger. Huh. The literal color spectrum of Elder Scrolls, of Elden Ring has lore.
Favor me with thy grace. I have met many who would threaten or distress thee, and quelled each and all.
The birds have something to do with the storm. I don't think it's the whole thing you didn't look into very much. Oh, what do you mean? What about the random goats? So you know those sheep goat guys that like roll into a ball and then run into you? Do they have lore, or are they just sheep? I don't know, dude. Do you want this?
Queen Marika, dearest mother.
Storm has something to do with Far Missoula. The Hawks in the Hill of Stormville are the former keepers of Stormville Castle. There's the guy with the goat set's best friend. The chair might have lore maybe. Oh my god. I don't like see. Okay, so. Oh, cool. So I want to. So it's almost like this game. I know it's gonna. Oh, we're gonna talk more about Bethesda and Starfield. Yes. This game is like the opposite of Starfield, in that Starfield has like no thought out lore behind like anything, and this game has nothing but. Where like almost every single aspect of it, down to like random animals, have some sort of like connection to the cosmology of the world, to like how this universe functions. You know, Starfield, you try to find out you try to find the history of like anything, or what anything is supposed to be or means, and it's nothing. It all means nothing. There's like no thought put behind it. Where here it's like there's an insane amount of thought. Oh no. Starfield's lore seems like it was written as it became relevant to quest design. Nothing more was made. Miyazaki used to reload as a kid, but wasn't very good at it. He filled in the gap. I have heard that Miyazaki was, you know, he did that sort of thing. Starfield shops at Target. Elden Ring shops at Walmart. It's that simple. Just nuts. Love about these games, putting stuff together on your own is fun. It's fun. I like having people who have dived more into the lore kind of go, actually, you know, this thing is this and this thing is that. And it's like, oh, that's cool. I'm glad that there is like people who have kind of, you know, kind of hashed this stuff out and figured out a lot of the bits and bobs. I think I was gonna insult Bethesda more. Going back to this new Londo, kind of. Going back to what you mentioned, Halcyon, a second ago about how a lot of the lore for Starfield feels like it was made up for quests. I immediately thought some of the chairs do have lore. Oh god damn it! I immediately thought of the one quest where you find the generation ship, First Contact. That quest is so, like, one of the things that is so, like, not well thought out is communication in Starfield. No one seems, it is so weird how, like, seemingly, like, cell phones don't exist, space cell phones, the space phone doesn't work, or, like, it's very limited when you have radio contact with people, and at what distance it works. You know, you have the whole thing of like, oh, you can't call these guys on the space phone, you know, because their radio, like, okay, so you find this ship that appears in orbit of this planet, and it's mysterious and nobody knows what it's for, why it's there. and you can't contact their radio because their radio is too old. And it makes you wonder, like, wait, what do you mean? Like, what do you, like, it's a radio. It's if it's a like, is it not using like radio waves? Is it using like, I don't know, quantum? Because you can still like try to hail them, but it's just like a bunch of static. And it's like, is there no other way? You can't, like, I don't know, like, it's funny because it's a Star Trek inspired quest, and yet they don't even try to do anything that they would try to do in a Star Trek. Where one of the things that they usually do with this sort of stuff when there's like a lack of contact, like, there's more than one way to send a message. Those radio waves are older, same frequency, just older, yeah. So, like, they don't do anything like, I don't know, try to like, oh, well, we'll send out pulses of like, you know, something like Star Trek would do is like, we'll send out pulses of, you know, tachyon beams in Morse code, and they'll be able to read it, and the whatever evil aliens that you're dealing with won't be able to read it because they don't know what Morse code is. It will just appear as like random random bursts of energy, so they won't know that there's a message being sent. And like, none of that happens in Starfield. It's just like, oh, by the way, the radio's broke. They have old radio no work. And it's like, oh, okay. The radio's a microwave. They have interference. No, someone was running the microwave next to the radio, and it was causing interference, and they couldn't pick it up. But like, so what I try to point out from that is that they like the world building bends and breaks around the design of this one quest. So like, oh, radios are like old, and so you can have old radios, but and then it's weird too because like the starter ship you get is a Frontier, and the Frontier is considered to be an old ship. It's considered to be like a classic, which means it's like, what? It could be what, several decades old, older maybe, and no one like that ship can communicate fine with other ships that are newer, but then this one ship is too old, so it doesn't have the radio. But then this ship that is so old that it doesn't have a radio that can receive the newfangled transmissions can somehow have a grav drive that allows faster than light travel retrofitted inside of it. And then, not to mention how, like, often you're told to go back and talk to someone in person. Instead, like, this is a like, you know, they didn't figure out how the quest design formula would work in a high-tech world, you're guessing? Yeah, I think that's the thing where they're so used to dealing with a post-apocalyptic setting in Fallout and a fantasy setting with low technology in Elder Scrolls that it's like, it's so funny because just look how Cyberpunk did it. Like, look how Cyberpunk did it, where Cyberpunk it's like, it's a high technology world to the point where people have like telephones in their head. And what do people do when you have to, like, okay, so you've completed a job for someone. Do you have to go back and talk to them? No, you just call them on the telephone. And they pick up and go, good job, V. Here's your money. I'm sending you your cash through like a wire transfer or whatever. Through electronic transfer because it's the future with technology. This is what happens when people are unwilling, unable to refer to other people's work and check for consistency without having to boot up a test build. There's only one thing you learn about that doesn't interact with the quest. You learn about the House of Sneck and how they aren't in the game. Oh wait, yeah. Shadow Sunflower. Blessed Bone Shard. Bethesda doesn't believe in long-form communication. Apparently fucking not. Apparently, like, it's so weird because it's like, okay, in Elder Scrolls, it's like there's no long-form communication. Or, like, long-form communication is, like, rare, weird magic. So, most of the time, almost exclusively, you have to go back and talk to someone to tell them about whatever. Fine. Fallout, the world is the apocalypse. A lot of their, like, it exists long-form communication, but it's rare, it's in states of disrepair. Easy. Okay, got it. You know, you have to go back and talk to someone. But Starfield is like a futuristic world where, like, technology's everywhere and everyone has, like, faster than light travel to go to, like, a star system a billion miles away. But, like, no one has a phone like that. You can't call anyone. Everyone requires you doing things in person. Lightspeed travel would be the limiter here, but that's boring and poo. Honestly, Starfield would have benefited so much from being one smaller system. That is a consistent thing I've seen a lot of people talk about, is that if they scaled Starfield down to one solar system, but made it like the huge, big, explorable world where there's like a bunch of planets and moons and asteroids and, you know, space stations and wrecks and like, you know, space hulks and shit like that to explore, that it would have been a much more interesting game. There wasn't even there's not even an adventure to be had getting to point A to B anymore. It's just fast travel communication back and forth. Or fast traveling back and forth, no reason to have long form communication, yeah. Was it the Thieves Guild or Dark Brotherhood that had couriers in Oblivion? It was the Thieves Guild. I remember because one of the Thieves Guild couriers is called Meth Redhill. Which is one of the funnier names ever. So I've seen some people talk about, speaking about other RPGs coming out. There's apparently a, is it like it's the Expanse, right? There's an Expanse RPG coming out that is being done by, is it Owlcat? And it's I've heard people compare it to Mass Effect, like it's that sort of thing. And I'm all for new games being good. If it's a new science fiction, if it's in the vein of like a Mass Effect kind of thing, I wouldn't be upset if it's good. Not particularly fond of it being a pre-existing universe. I would prefer if it was like its own thing. I never particularly cared for the Expanse. If it was a single system, it would be harder to justify the modder-friendly 1,000 planets. Wrong spell. The knockback doesn't seem as bad when you take it as opposed to shielding it, which is interesting. Oh, it's just something about Bethesda. Hi, sorry. Have you tried the Elden Ring Regorged? Is that what it's called? I've not heard of that. Reforged. Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck does regorged mean? It sounds weird. Rune of an unsung hero. Oh. Have a tip, good stream. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat, RC Laws. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's cool. If you guys tip or donate or anything like that, I really appreciate it. And if me saying I appreciate it sounds awkward and stilted, it's because I'm still not used to getting money from people on the internet, so it's kind of weird, and I don't know how to. I want to be genuine about me being appreciative of you guys doing that, but I don't want to be overly friendly or overly like, yo, thank you so. Oh my, that's amazing. Can we hit the bell or whatever, like, you know, some, like, I don't want to, you know, so I try not to be too bombastic. I do appreciate it, and it's really cool. Thank you. Regorged mod is about devouring the gods with Riker as family. Basically, full rebalance of the game, because the game's default item balance is atrocious. Adds things like selectable classes via fortune systems. The only way to play ER nowadays, in your opinion? Well, maybe for next time. I will definitely look at that. I will see what that's about. Someone who also recently started getting money from randoms on the internet, it feels weird thanking people. It's like, yeah, it's just, yeah, can we get some poggers in chat? Everyone, raise your dongers. Am I dating myself? Does anyone do that anymore? Does anyone say raise your dongers anymore? Remember to ring that bell and like that subscription button and click upvote on and get the Reddit gold. Smash the subscribe button. You always thought Vinny and Joel's approach to tips was the best. If people want to give money, it's a gift. Yeah, I don't. It's never. It's always appreciated, never required, and like it is. It's like it's a gift. It's a thank you, and that's all. You know, that's it. Don't, you know. It's cool. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about tips on the internet. What is the lore for the elevators having floor pressure plates? At least you're not doing the DSP thing, thanks for money dummy thing, or literally cursing out donators and calling them. Oh god, it always comes back to talking about. So I've never really, I was aware of DSP, and I've never seen anything about him. I just occasionally, like through internet osmosis, hear his name, and I'm like, and like I see maybe like a clip, and I'm like, it depends on the pressure plate. They're all different areas and technologies. No, there's no way. Now you're making shit up. There's no way there's elevator pressure plate lore. So the lords would enter the elevators alone, and lords don't pull levers. Ah, oh, that's great. So, accessibility for the various life forms in the land between. These are great answers. I really appreciate all of these. These are all canon to me. They are in my head, true, real head canon. DFP video season. Okay, 20. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's like I've heard of him as a person, and I've seen clips of him being awful at games, and you know, and I've heard people. But it's one of those things where it's like I just don't even want to like. It's like, I'm good, I don't need to see him, but like I hear people talk. Getting information about him second and like third hand is fascinating, and it's hard for me to believe that he exists as like a creator at all, because I almost, it's like he feels like he's not like real or genuine. Oh fuck this guy. I forgot about this guy. Yep. You've released 2 major video game mods now, and both of them have contained a secret. Why am I toxic DSP Easter egg? So the man is definitely a meme. You're not missing much avoiding DSP. The only notable thing I know about him is he won against the IRS. What? The elevators in okay, the Ansel Rivers are one sec. Well, I'll read the elevator lore eventually. Cool, that's a really fun hitbox. Am I better off doing this on foot, or should I get back up on torrent? You think torrent is going to be in the Elden Ring movie? You think they're going to put horns on a real horse? Or is he going to be a CG monstrosity? Genetically modified horse for the movie. He's gonna be like that robot. They're gonna make him a robot like that robot polar bear from Detroit Become Human. I can't wait for Sunday. I can't wait to get my good end in Detroit Become Human. Can't remember Elden Ring lore. Is it called the Skidoo tree or the Skibbity tree? I have been calling it the Skibbity tree. All of the items you pick up, the Skidoo tree fragments, I've been calling them the Skibbity fragments. DSP lore is as intricate and expansive as Elden Ring. Jeez. So is DSP... So this is the thing. I know that DSP is bad at video games. The thing that I have trouble believing is that it is... okay. It is... I have... it's pronounced... Skidoo is pronounced shadow? Are you kidding me? It's called... It's... Is it like... Did they make that up? Or is it like a weird jail thing? Like G-A-O-L... J-A-I-L thing? Or is it... Did they just make that up? What? That actually fucking killed me. What? What? Is that... Skidoo. It's an old English archaic term for shadow or shade. Oh, I'm gonna kill myself. No, I know that jail is a real word. It's an old word for... I know jail is... It's one of those things where people see it and they think they pronounce it like... It's like Gale or something like that. But it's... No, it's just jail and it's just an old word. I know that. But fuck me. Holy shit. That actually... Jail's a real word. Yeah. It's... I've seen that too. It's fun whenever you encounter someone seeing that word for the first time and they might not pick it up and it's like, oh, it's... Jail is pronounced jail. What was I talking about before I got fucking flashbanged by that reveal? DSP. Is DSP real in how bad he is? Is my question. Because I see a bunch of clips of him being bad at video games. And it's like, I can believe that people are bad at video games. I'm bad at video games often. I fucking willingly admit it. Look in the description of any of my channels anywhere. But like, is it like, okay, is it 100% real would be the specific thing? Or is he playing it up? Like, is it like 80-90, or 80-90, 80-10, 80-20, or 90-10, 80-20 kind of like split between real and fake. You know what I mean? Like Like, cause he is clearly aware of his own reputation, and knows that he knows that like he has a reputation, and so he might, after all these years, play into it. Like a little, and again, I mean like even if like 10% of it is fake, or is like maybe not like not fake, but played up. Played up is the word. Like it's exaggerated. It's overdone. Like why is it? Oh, I'm so bad. Oh, the game sucks. Oh, look how bad I am. Like that's the hard part for me. It's like yes, it's all real. That's my struggle. Is I just can't believe it's all real. Oh hey look, it's the Lord Vessel. It's very difficult for me to be like, this is 100% genuine. So yeah. You're convinced the DSP is real because nobody could keep up with that for so long and be that miserable over a decade without the mask slipping and revealing it was all an act. Well, that's what I mean is like, it doesn't have to be all an act. It has to be like, I'm saying like a little, like he plays it, like he's playing it up. He's not playing it up. It's real. Like every bit of his stream in terms of like his, you know, infamous poor gameplay is genuine incompetence. It's a bit too consistent to be a ruse. Even at one point, you become what you do after enough time. Oh, he became the man. There's thousands of hours of Elden Ring researchers. Sorry, no, I really appreciate having the lore masters in chat for games like this. I really appreciate that. By the power of the Skibbity fragments, you can now travel to the Ohio plains using the Phantom Stones. Elden Ring lore actually sounds this ridiculous. Yeah. It's all real. It's the detractors that are wrong and constantly making him look bad. That's... It's hard to believe. I believe it. I will believe it. It's just, it's like, it's hard. It's like, like, people tell me this. I've asked this before, and people say, it's all real, 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 it's real. And then, but like, I go, okay, fine. No, you know what? I have all these people who have probably seen more and know more. And then I see a clip posted, or I see some sort of thing, and I go, no, like, come on. Like, it's got to be like 5-10% rage bait, right? Like, it's rage bait, kind of. Oh, hello, White Mouse. Good morning. Like, it's got to be rage bait. No? All right. Well, I'm going to use the toilet quick. I'll be back in a sec. Nez is using the Skibbity toilet. Yes. Stopped. Okay, so, like, okay, so the thing is, why can't you see some people's messages in chat? Is people, okay, so sometimes, okay, there's two reasons for that. One, sometimes, okay, YouTube is very strict with their message filtering, even on the lowest setting, and it will filter your message on YouTube. The second is you're seeing two chats, because I'm streaming on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So if you in chat on your chat client, you'll only see the one for whatever website. The one on screen will be both chats merged. You'll see there's a little symbol that appears between look on screen, you can see the little YouTube play button right beside your name there. So that's because you're from YouTube chat. And then the next time someone from Twitch chat talks, you'll see there's a little Twitch symbol next to their name. Sorry, I was escape Skibbity toilet. Oh, I think Skibbity toilet's already started to die a little bit. Oh God, no! Please don't. Wow. You feel like in DSP's case, he spent so long basically banning and undermining anyone who questions or criticizes him. He surrounded himself with nothing but loyal followers to the point where you believe he can maintain his delusions indefinitely. To the point where he can maintain his delusions. Wait, I read that again. Without it being an act or being played up in any way, he's the gaming equivalent of a UFO cult or whatever ridiculous, because it never gets questioned or challenged for hundreds of years. Okay. So my next DSP related question is, so he's been doing this for a long time, and it's like it feels like, why hasn't he gotten any better? Because you think that, like, playing video games for so long, that, like, eventually you would, like, it's just a case of, like a monkey typewriter situation, where, like, or, like, some of, like, you would get some improvement, right? Because I was thinking about, like, so, like, video games have, like, a bit of a common, like, they have there's, like, a thing where it's, like, if you've played a lot of video games, you know that there's, like, certain, I guess you would say, tropes of things, like, for example, if I give you a controller, you know after a while instinctively where the buttons are. You don't have to look at the controller anymore. You know, you probably guys have family members who don't play video games at all, and if you told them to, like, use a controller, they would have to look at it. Like, if you told them to hit the X button, they would have to look down at the controller. You know instinctively, often, in a game like this, that you use the left stick to move, and then you use the right stick to move the camera. And then similarly, like, with most games on, like, a keyboard and mouse, you use WASD to move and the mouse to turn and look. Stuff like that. Like, there is, like, a sort of, like, a base level of sort of understanding with games, and, like, there are certain games where it's like, oh, I have played similar games before. This isn't the exact same game, but I know that I can, you know, like, I've played enough first-person shooters that I know how to, like, aim with a mouse and shoot people and, like, aim for the head kind of thing, right? Oh, fuck off. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. A lot of people... I will read these in a second after I die. Or get stuck. Where am I? Is that enough? There are two of them! So, my character right now. Now, you're probably wondering how I got here. I hate these ulcerated tree spirits. These guys should have stayed on Dark Souls' cutting room floor. Oh, that was great. What do I even get if... Okay, well, I'm dead. No, I'm not. Now I'm dead. I will read chat now. Thank you for the super chat, Tommy. Getting out of here. Thank you for the Fallout 4 video, by the way. Are you in the market for doing cyberpunk weapons video like your Starfield one? I don't know if I do a weapons video on Starfield. I have the idea for doing a... Starfield. I don't know about a weapons video for Cyberpunk, but I have an idea for some. It's like a seed at this moment, but, like, I have an idea for a Cyberpunk video of some kind in the future. But that's still very early. Thank you very much for the super chat. Congrats on your Fallout video eclipsing the GMDX AE trial by factor 10. You're not salty at all. Thank you. That Fallout video doing as well as it did is like it's like I'm still flabbergasted. It's like every time I look at it and I see it has as many views as it does, I go, wow, a lot of people really wanted, there's people like that sort of, like, they wanted criticism of Fallout 4. He's a lazy fuck. DSP has a habit of easily beating the hardest bosses, so he is learning, he just doesn't bother. Some people don't care. You think after 20 years on a forklift a person would be a master? You'd be wrong, I guess. He beat Sword Saint Ishin in Sekiro in like 3 tries. He was on YouTube since the beginning when gaming started to take off and people started using graphics cards. It took him years to stop filming his TV with a camera. But, like... So he was doing console gaming and he didn't have a capture card, and so he was still doing the old camcorder on the TV. Wow. he's that adverse to self-improvement and adaptation. The only reason he's got as big as he was is solely because he literally has the it's like, yeah, the advantage of being like the first one there. So shit, man. Like, what's the word? He's in on the ground floor. He was there, yeah. That's bizarre. You appreciate the Dead Money video, by the way? Commonly overlooked by videos. I really liked Dead Money. I thought I'm gonna do a little video about how that is a good DLC and how I like it. And I feel like a lot of people don't. A lot of people like Dead Money. A lot of people talk about Dead Money, but I think it does get overlooked because it's DLC, and I think a lot of people don't like doing. It's very different from the other DLCs. I think a lot of people really don't like it when DLCs take your gear, and I think so much so that they just like really dislike it because, oh, it took all my guns, you know. You found your hey, you found first, no light game equal all. You just found first. Do you plan to make a stupid comment video? Nah. There's no point in making a stupid comment video. Did someone say, was it like, wait, do you found, like, in general or on my channel? Like, you saw someone saying that, like, because I don't like, what, Starfield or something, it's, like, political somehow? Under my gun video. Oh, I haven't checked the comments yet. I haven't looked at it yet. When a video of mine goes live, I don't look at it for like hours because I just don't want to. I just like, nope. I'll wait. I looked at it at 5:30, and I haven't looked at it since. And I didn't read any of the I didn't look at the comments. I just looked at the numbers. So I will definitely watch. I will definitely take a good laugh at that. If you didn't like Bethesda's shitty fucking science fiction bullshit game, that's terrible. You're clearly fucking this politic or that politic. You whatever. That's insane. That's fucking nuts. It's like people from all over the fucking political spectrum think that fucking Starfield is shit. You know what I mean? It's fucking, what are you talking about? DSP is famous for saying things like, oh god, he's controversial for obvious reasons, there's a good reason to hate him. Do a video about how Old World Blues is overrated, badly written trash, even though everyone likes it and thinks it's amazing and they're all wrong. I understand why people don't like Old World Blues. I like it a little bit, but I understand why I get it. It's not fun the second time around or the third time. It's not as engaging in terms of like the story and the like. There's like things I like, but what I don't like is it gets a little too heavy-handed in that first conversation is too long. It's just too long. Hell. Especially if gameplay's really good, especially for the energy well in the build. Still have your sleep schedule hours later, so many days I flipped around to have a normal morning at 6 a.m. today. It's really high Q to stand World War Blues, yeah. I don't think it's necessarily bad, it's just overrated. I do agree. I think it's like people really think it's funny, and I don't think it's not, like it's not. I have an issue with its scaling. That place sucks to go to when you're a high level because all of the lobotomites have fucking brush guns and hunting revolvers and can fucking annihilate you, and all of the robo-scorpions have too much health and they're really resilient to damage. What was I gonna say? Accused you of being Itzia Red Nez. Itzia Red Nez the Red, lol. I don't know what that means. Favorite people claiming Bethesda are evil gun profiteers. Starfield pronouns meme was so prolific. Any criticism of Starfield is right wing, anti woke, etc. It's so weird because it's like I have not said in any of my like videos, I've not commented about anything that isn't like the game. I've not really talked about. I've like hypothesized. Or like hypothesis. I've like asked hypotheticals, that's a word, about like what were the devs doing? What did the devs think about this? When they made this, were they trying to do this, that, or the other thing? But like I've never talked about like real world discussion in any way about the game. I like solely look at the content of the game. Of like, you know, this game is like, so what does the game do? What does the gameplay tell me? What does the story tell me? What is the writing? What are the mechanics? All this sort of stuff, and like, and that's it, you know. And then I compare them to other games, you know, because I think it's fair to compare games to other games that do things better, whether they be in the same series or from the same developer or not, you know. You haven't seen It's Your Boy Brandy Boy's gun breakdown videos? It's... yeah. He comes on... no, I have not. No, he has a big one. Oh, he's got a, like a... wow, he's got a big one on Starfield. Wow, that's probably his, like... yeah. Every gun is... everything wrong with the guns in Starfield. I don't know if I've seen this video. Like, I don't know if I've watched this video, but I've seen this video. Like, I've seen it recommended. I'm gonna say, I don't really watch much on YouTube. You know, so I don't really follow many... I don't subscribe to many people on YouTube or Twitch or anything. I'm very, I'm very, like... when I watch things, I watch old television shows from 30 years ago. So, didn't mention it because Starfield doesn't even use the pronouns thing at all. It's clearly hastily added to the game last minute. Make a video on a subject that people will accuse you of copying whoever did the first video on it. Well, I got a lot of that with... I even addressed it in my Starfield. I get all these names of the games confused. I addressed it in my Starfield video where... it's like I don't think there is like an arbitrary limit on like how long you're allowed to critique a game or a movie, or how you know, how many videos. There's like, you know, you can like just... I wanted to make these videos, so I made them. There's more than enough room for everyone. Like, you know, you can, like, that's it. If like, I just want to make these videos. Like, I don't care if it's like, oh, other people made these videos. And it's like, yeah, but those people aren't me. Not accusing you? It's, oh, I didn't think you were accusing me. It's just that there's plenty of people who, you know, it's like, oh, why are you making this? It's like, this game is... it's funny because, oh, this game is old, you shouldn't criticize it anymore. And, oh, sorry, I just get like, oh, you're not allowed to criticize it because it's old, or you're not allowed to criticize it because other people have criticized it already. And I want to ask, like, the people who say, like, other people have criticized it, or other people, it's too old. If I made a praise video instead of a critique, would that be allowed, or is that not allowed? Because I have a feeling if my videos were praising these games, these people would not be talking about that. They would not be talking about, like, how you're not allowed to, like, oh, other people have done this, why are you doing it? You know, oh, the game is old, you know? Have you seen Kratos'? I've not seen Kratos' Starfield video. I've seen his Fallout 3 video. I like that one. They'd be annoyed either way, or say nothing at all, yeah. Wait, Marika's rune? Is that important? Oh, Marika's rune, you just use it to gain 80,000 runes. Golden remains of the grace personally bestowed by the Queen Marika to the heroes who joined the crusade for her. And look, it looks like her on the Elden Ring. Only praise is allowed. Yeah, I bet so. I bet that, You know? And hey, you know what? If anyone ever says, "Oh, all you do is make criticism videos," nope, you didn't watch any of my. You didn't even look at my other channel or at my channel and my other videos. Then, I have a video up about how I think something is really good. Game is old, it's a classic, you can't criticize it. Game is new, you can't criticize it because it hasn't been out long enough. Similar to that is the hours criticism. Play a game too short, oh, you didn't play it long enough to criticize it properly. Play a game for too long, oh, you actually like it. You clearly, it's not as bad as you say because you played it for so long. Ow. Sunflower. Fire is very effective against the flower. Okay, what are you supposed to... is that like just like a get out of that? Or am I supposed to hit it? Like rot jump? Okay, yeah, I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. I figured this... Ah, fuck. Play less than 10 hours, you didn't get it. You play longer than 5 hours, you secretly like it. Got him. You notice criticism works in phases. If it's currently popular to hate on Bethesda, which at the moment, with the failed Starfield 2.0 update, people will support you, but then they'll go into praise cycle and see Fallout 4 was actually brilliant, and then the cycle repeats. Only crime was putting out a video outside the accepted cycle. Eh. Fallout 4 is old enough that people haven't played it in nearly a decade, so most people remember it fondly, so it's in the praise cycle. People start replaying it in a few years after realize it will suck and go back to the hate cycle. If you don't punish, it comes back with more health. Oh, good. Had a lot of trouble with the sunflower. Did you pass... Did you open the pass to the shaman village on my way here? Excuse me? Like, what did I have to do? Again, I don't know if you're making stuff up. Oh yeah, did you open the pass to the shaman village? And did you help the druids of Gringledor? Did you rep grind to get to Exalted? Otherwise, you're not going to get the good ending. No. Come on. Okay, good. Teleported to it. Before the Gaius fight? Okay. Thanks, camera. Oh, cool. His head is in the wall. They did not expect you to fight this thing against the wall. Oh. Hey, Oleg, you want to do something? She's aura farming, yeah. Oh, cool. Is it dead? Okay. All right, that wasn't that bad. Mikola's Great Rune. Oh, right. I remember. Remains not, but the power to resist charms. Great Rune relinquished by Mikola. Broken and bereft of its bounty, it retains not, but the power to resist charms. Mikola set off for the tower enshrouded by shadow, abandoning everything. His gold flesh, his blinding strength, even his fate. All in an effort to bury the original sin, to embrace the whole of it, and be reborn a new god. I will read what people said. Go to the. It's in the room after the long elevator down with the statue at the dead end. Before the Gaius fight. Say that From and Bethesda are actually similar in terms of bugs. Both their games are quite janky. But From's games are good, so while Bethesda is getting absolutely reamed for their buggy games right now, people flat out don't care how buggy and janky ER is. Abuse iframes, dodge more, yes. Reforged Man mod makes it so that summonable companions are actually useful. So the Great Rune helps against the grab attack, I'm guessing. It does something. I remember vaguely it does something. You need the Oh Mother gesture to... Okay, where do I get that? Bonnie Village. Okay, I know where that is. It's a funny name, but I know where that is. Look, there it is. Look, it's the Skibbity tree. Skibbity treelet. It's so skibbity and gold. Bonnie Village is this one. It's Skibbity Tree leaking its phantom sap all over Shkadol. Yes, I recognize some of these words. There's a lone tree on the west side of the chasm there. Chasm. And that's where the gesture is. Like on this side or on the other side? I know this is west, right? There's also lore about it. God damn it. About what? The tree, the gesture, Bonnie Village? All of them probably have lore. I know it's hard to give directions when I'm running around like an idiot and there's stream delay. Tree to gesture and Bonnieville. Oh, look, there's a tree. Ah, I see it. Oh, mother. So, before Gaius, which was here? I'm guessing I gesture beneath before this. How do you figure that out? Oh, it's so nice. Ow. It's all flowery. I wonder what kind of awful shit is here, because if it's nice, it's actually horrible. Is there, like, anywhere actually pleasant in this universe? Did they bother adding any of those notes to buy in the DLC? No? Maybe? Oh god, it's fucking good. Tree Sentinel! Jarburg is nice, I guess. The lore here is abominable. Are you being... Again, I can't even tell. Is it? Like, let me guess. There was a fucking genocide here, right? Yes? Oh, fuck. Literally, yes. Fuck. Oh, minor Erdtree. Yeah. Incantation, secret incantation of Queen Marika. Only the kindness of gold without order. Creates a small illusory fake Erdtree that continually restores health of nearby HP. I'm so tired. Restores the HP of nearby allies. Marika bathed the village of her home in gold, knowing full well that there was no one to heal. So is this Marika's hometown? Is this where she grew up? Flower village? Shaman village? Was Marika a person? What is... I'm so... But what... Isn't, like, she, like, some sort of god creature? Is she, like... You don't need a long-form analysis video. The reason you know Starfield sucks is because there's no in-universe adaptation of the Lusty Argonian made. Where people were genocided horrifically. Ah. Oh. I don't know. Well, I don't know. With considering how, like, potentially evil Marika is, I feel like I thought she was going to be the one who did the genocide. The Imperiums were just people at one point. Oh my god. So you're telling me that, like, Marika used to be a human at one, like a person? She did one too? Oh, oh, fuck off! What do you mean? Oh. That actually almost killed me, like in real life. Don't try to understand ER lore. You learn long ago from FromSoft is basically ran into glued together by Vadi videos. Don't take it seriously because From doesn't take it seriously. I don't agree with that. I think From does take it seriously. You know, I don't like. You know who doesn't take it seriously is Bethesda. You know, this is taking it seriously. This is just not telling it in a traditional manner. I think From takes the lore very seriously because you wouldn't write all this shit if you didn't take it seriously and have all these connections to the point where like every single thing has some sort of like connection to the world beyond it just being the thing in the world. No. There we go. 280,000. Man, the rune counts get nuts in this DLC for bosses and shit. I should go check. I picked up so many boss souls. I should go check what they offer and then just pop them if I don't want them. I think the developers all have their own headcanons to fill in the gaps. I'm not fighting the tree sentinels. It's not happening. Tree sentinels can suck a butt. feel like so many From fans are like, wow, this 2-line armor description mentions the Knight of whatever. Let me watch a 4-hour speculation video with no information. Well, see, the thing is that let's say you don't watch the 4-hour speculation video and you just read this, like, this little bits of the, like, you don't judge the lore based off of the 4-hour speculation videos. You know, it's trying to tell a story of, like, or maybe, I wouldn't even say it's necessarily a story. It's almost trying to tell, they try to tell, like, a history, almost. Like the what's it called? Still interested in the Fingerprint Ruin lore? Aren't we coming up to one? So, yeah, probably. So, like, it's trying to tell, like, each of their games try to tell, like, a history of a world. You know, you're almost having to conduct, like, like the player is almost like an archaeologist almost. You in most of their games, in almost all of their games, or like the From game, like the Souls games, you come way after, like, everything's gone. Like, you're at the end of the world, more or less. And you're playing sort of archaeologist. You're picking up the pieces of this world and trying to, and only getting pieces. You're never gonna get the full plot because a lot of stuff has just been lost to time, you know, and so there is speculation, which is just that, what players do, is they'll speculate about this stuff, but it's not necessarily, like, all spelled out, because you're not going to find everything left, because it's gone, it's lost to time, and you can only make do with the bits and pieces you have, names and suggestions and places and things. So that's I quite like it. It's fun to explore these worlds and just get it's just, you know, like, even just to, like, without any concept of, like, the lore of this place, to just look at this and go, like, this is fucking weird and interesting, and I want, like, I can't even hazard, like, how this ended up the way it is and why it's like this. It's good puts in the lore videos, even though they try to push headcanon. Yeah, I would agree that that's probably not great. Go get your potatoes. Fingerprint Ruins are the remnants of a meteor bombardment that brought the Mother of Fingers and the first vassal of the Greater Will to the lands between. She lost contact with the Greater Will. The Elden Beast is the second vassal of the Greater Will. Huh. Is this gonna be weird, sketchy man? Nope, Falling Star Beast. I don't want to fight this. It's a plot. It's not a plot. It's like a compendium. Like that word. I don't know how. I can never say that. Similarian. I will read your essay in a second. When the issue is that your story's all random tidbits and the rest is lost to time, then you may as well not have a story at all, because nothing is ever explained or makes any sense. I think there's a really tangible reason why so many players just play these games purely as games and don't even bother to try to understand, because it seems fundamentally futile to go. So I get that people like to investigate, but I wish people would play in the film. But, like, I think that's fine. Like, you can play this game as a game, but there is story and lore, and you can investigate it. It's doing it in a way that I think is, like, it's almost a unique way to video games, to have this sort of very, not like a very upfront story, to just kind of have, like, these bits and pieces that you can dig up. I think it's the fact that, I think there's a, God fucking damn it. I think there's a reason why so many people are interested in, oh, that's cool, in the lore of these worlds, is because, like, it's not just explained to you. That you have to kind of, like, there's a mystery. There's an air of, like, you know, never being able to fully put together the story. Fuck. Of having to guess and wonder at all these different things. Do you like any of the From lore? You know? Do you think any other games have, like, is it fine for a game to just have lore and to not really have stories? Is it fine for a setting to kind of just have lore and not have, like, necessarily a plot? Like, I think another good example, it's not 100% the same, but in the, fuck. In this, I think of, what's the fucking thing I'm trying to say? Like, Warhammer 40k is kind of similar. I know there are stories in Warhammer 40k, but most of it is just a plot. Fuck, I'm sorry, it's late. It's almost midnight. It is past midnight, actually. Like, there's just a lot of lore. You know what I mean? Like, there's all this different, like, lore and stuff, but there's not really, like, a plot to 40k for the most part. Is it bad when J.J. Abrams releases a movie with a mystery box that asks a question without answering anything? But the thing is that, like, I feel like that's completely different. This is not a mystery box. This is not trying to, like, be like, whoa, you know, who are the booglers? It's like, there's more to it. There's more to, like, and there are answers that you can, there's answers in that, like, like, the game will never tell you objectively, like, maybe not never, but the game's not going to tell you, like, 100%, like, this is correct, this is the answer to it, but there's more than enough for people to piece together what is probably the right answer of what certain things are. You know what I mean? Like, all these people, like, I've had a bunch of people who have explained, like, well, this is this and this is that. And it's like, people have kind of figured it out, but there's never, like, there's never, like, the game's never going to, like, give you the book that's like, here's the answer book. You know, and the opposite issue with J.J. Abrams is that he creates those mysteries without any explanation, because the mystery is all that's enough for him. He thinks that that's compelling enough, so you don't necessarily need to have a satisfying conclusion. This is the equivalent of, like, having your answer to your mystery and essentially setting up a scavenger hunt for the player to find, and to go around and say, well, here you go, and, like, to never necessarily say 100% that, like, that's true or not, and to leave it to you to sort of think whether or not it's correct, and to go, well, all things point to this, but there's no 100% like objective, you know, moment where the NPC says, yes, I am Zanzibart. Another penis flute, yes. Now I can go back to the man, right. At the weird church. At the spooky church. They like their spooky church, their bells. No, they're foreskin flutes. Yeah, I want endurance at 30. I don't like odd numbers.
My, you poor thing. Another bad dream, Yuri. Put that rotten thing out of your mind. That tangled mess can't hurt you. Hello there. The exalted timbre of the bell twice now. The stars are rest assured. On the contrary, I believe now. May you join.
Third map. Talisman depicting a wizened hand gently gripping a glintstone. Shortens casting speed for sorceries and incantations by the utmost, but increases damage taken. Ooh, that's interesting. It's late here too, okay. You guess you would appreciate the scavenger hunt more if it led to something conclusive. You generally bounce off of from lore or heart, I'm guessing, because at the end... Yeah, from lore, because at the end, you're all usually left with speculation and more questions. We're probably not going to agree on this, but you absolutely stopped even bothering to try to play from games to the lore at this point. Good gameplay, and you don't care about anything else at that point? Well, I don't think we're going to agree, but I'm trying, like, that's the... You nailed it. Like, that's the thing, though, is that they're not going to lead, like... Do you think that that as it is, that the lore would be better if there was an objective, like, moment where they, like everything was explained, or like they add like some sort of thing where it's like 100% here you go in your face? Is there not any value to telling it in a way where it's kind of just like not even like left up to interpretation per se, but it's like you can find answers. It's just not going to tell you, like, it's not going to have like a character come out and say, actually, you know, this was this the whole time. I feel like it's one of those things where I think that comes down to that's the style that they're trying to tell. And I guess you can say that you don't like that style, and then, yeah, that's really it. You know, they're trying to do this sort of, again, I think the archaeologist way of describing it is a good way to say that, like, you know, like, in the same way that, like, again, archaeology, where you can find so much info about a past civilization and based off of what they've left behind, but you're never going to conclusively 100% be like, actually, you know, they were like this. You can only do so much, you know, you don't have a time machine. And I think it's kind of trying to do that. And I think it does that well, and I think there's an intrigue to it. It's interesting to be able to explore, like, it's a sense of mystery that I feel like there is a point and that there is some sort of answer, and that I think it's one of those things where, to go back to your comparison to J.J. Abrams, the issue is, or not the issue, the difference is, I think that FromSoft, probably, whoever writes this lore, probably has some sort of idea for the most part, or for a lot of these things, what the actual, like, answer to the question is. You know, whether it be what happened, who this is, whatever, like, there is some sort of answer. They have it, and they just essentially have left the pieces of a mystery without giving that 100% conclusion. And so it feels better than when J.J. Abrams does it, because J.J. Abrams just sets up a mystery without an answer because he thinks that that's compelling enough. And it starts to fall apart the more you examine his plots and his stories, because he set up a mystery with no foundation. I guess for you, you feel if you spend time investigating something, you're owed answers by the story. They don't have to explain literally everything, but you feel like they leave so much open to interpretation that it undermines the value of the investigation, because you're left having to speculate just as much anyway. I guess other people see it. You guess other people see it differently. Yeah, I guess that's it. I think that, you know, not having all the answers, kind of, again, like there's a sort of je ne sais quoi to, like, the game, to the From games, and I think the sort of mystery of their worlds is a part of it, especially like the Soulsborne-y, specifically talking about the Souls. I'll be more specific. The Soulsborne-y stuff is that the fact that it doesn't feel like you're going to have, like, there's an air of mystery. There's an air of, like, again, I can't put it any other way other than it feels mystery. It feels like a mystery. It feels alien. It feels like there's so much to discover under the surface of this, and that you can do digging and get answers, but you're never fully going to get all of it. Bringing up lore and hearing this say you made that up. Yeah. I feel like it would be more satisfying for a lot of players if From games were more upfront about their actual main story, even if they want to leave the rest of the lore being more open to interpretation, because the number of people who go, huh, when a cutscene plays is the hundreds. You feel like they want people to engage with the endings and the story, but they don't give people the tools to do it, so people bounce off. I don't think that people do bounce off, though. Like, people like these games, and they find the story, they find the, I'd say, more sort of the lore and the worlds interesting, you know, and, like, they give you, like, there is, like, a basic plot that you understand in terms of, like, mechanical terms in the gameplay of, like, you have to become Elden Lord. Like, that is a plot. That is a purpose. That is a goal to achieve. And you get that at the end, regardless of whatever ending you choose. You know, you get that in some way. Like, I don't know. Like, because I think that's one of the reasons why I think people like this lore a lot, is that it isn't, that's a good point. People, they're not afraid of people missing stuff. I think again, comparing them to to Bethesda is appropriate, because they're like the opposite in that, like, they are not afraid that a player will not have every complete understanding of an area of the world. They don't mind if a player doesn't find every single nook and cranny on their first playthrough. You know, it's the same. It's the opposite of how Bethesda do it, where everything has to be in your face. They're terrified that the player might not understand every single point and see every single thing. I guess you're trying to get the bottom distinction between it's hard to understand because of artistic intention, it's hard to understand because of badly written. It's a very fine line to walk, and I think that it's purposely done this way. I don't think that FromSoft would make so many games like this if it was just poorly, like, I don't think that they'd make the, like, that's the thing, is like, would they make all of the Souls games and all of the Bloodborne and Elden Ring, would they make them all like this if it was done like poorly? And another thing is like, you would think that would bleed more over into them making poor gameplay. You know, I don't think they would necessarily just make poor story if they were doing that. They would also make bad gameplay. So I think it's very intentional. I'm not going to say 100% of it is, but I think the vast majority of these, like the lore being obscure or being not like 100%, you know, I guess you would say, explained or like given a conclusive ending, is very much the what's it called? Is very intentional. I think that's it's intentional. They want to build a certain feeling of their worlds. You don't think they would make this many games if it was done poorly? Speaking of Bethesda, well, I'm of the opinion that Bethesda is like a fluke. Bethesda has had like one good game, and that was Morrowind. And like at this point, like after playing Morrowind and playing so many other, like playing all their other like big titles since, I think it's a fluke. You know, I don't know, because like, but yeah, I don't think that this is done intentionally. Like this is, or I think this is intentional. I don't think it's accidental. I don't think this is them doing this, like this is like a result of bad writing, like them not. But I think that they have. I think if you pinned down, if you could have a crystal ball, and you could peer into Michael Zaki's head, and see what he thinks of like different of the lore, there would be more answers than like there would be answers to things. There would be explicit answers to things that were purposefully left out to essentially give the players intrigue and mystery and to set tone and to essentially allow the player to be the one to discover it in a way, and to have to and essentially to ask the player, it's like, here is all of this information that you can dig in through descriptions and through lines and through environments, etc., and they point to something being the solution or being the answer, and then from there it's just like, there you go. That's the thing. It's like, you have to be like, am I satisfied with that as the player? Yes or no? Can I accept that possibly being the answer to this lore question without the dev explicitly saying so? Someone who's done thousands of hours of this game's lore, you'd be willing to stake your insufferable autism on the fact that Elden Ring only leaves 2 or 3 story threads unresolved: the Crucible, the Ancient Civilization, and maybe the nature of the Greater Will. I'm so thirsty. If you haven't noticed, my voice has gotten a smidge hoarse. I am turning into a horse. Oh. See your point where you're coming from. You guess the best world building lies somewhere between having no lore and having nothing but mysteries and tidbits on the one hand, and over-explaining everything on the other hand. Both of these are bad in your opinion, and I feel like your From goes too far on the first side, while most games go too far on the other side. I do agree that, yes, I do think most games, I'd say most games go too far in. I'd say most of them. I think you can. I think it's not necessarily. I don't think either extreme is. I don't think either extreme is necessarily a bad thing, like 100% a bad thing. I think you can pull it off having exceptionally, like, over-explained lore, and you can pull off having essentially no lore. I don't think, like, because there are video games that have no, I can understand that, like, there are some games that have no lore. They have no story. There are games that are purely mechanical, and they can still be good video games. You know, there are games that have, like, a thin veneer of, like, plot and direction, and it's just a means of delivering mechanics to you. I always, whenever I say that, I think of has anyone heard of the game Super Hexagon? It's an older game. It's like 15 years old by this point, maybe even longer. And it's a simple game where you control a shape and you move it with the arrow keys, and you have to avoid walls closing in on you. And it's just colors and lights and shapes and music. And it's a really, really good, really challenging, tough little game. There is no lore, there is no story, there is no plot. And then I would say that I was going to just bring up, not Morrowind, I was going to bring up Mass Effect. I think Mass Effect is an example of a world that does over-explain its lore and its world building, but it does it well because there's a lot of thought put into, like, giving those explanations. So, like, you have the Codex in Mass Effect for all the nitty-gritty. You're given plenty of opportunity. I'm specifically thinking Mass Effect 1. You're given plenty of opportunities in almost every conversation to dig in more and to ask. So if someone, like, brings up, you know, biotics for the first time, you can ask about biotics. If someone brings, the first time you talk to, like, a Hanar, you can ask more about the Hanar and their species, or, like, other alien species. You find an Elcor or a Volus, and you can talk more, and they'll be willing to explain their you know, history and culture and whatever. And I think it works well because they put thought into that. So I think you can. I don't necessarily think that either end of this scale is, like, automatically good or bad. It really does feel like it is a scale, and you can do it well and you can do it poorly. So, like, Mass Effect is a good example of a world that over-explains its lore. And I would say that a little further in the other direction on the spectrum, something like Starfield is a game that doesn't explain its lore as much as Mass Effect, but the lore it does explain is poorly thought out and poorly organized, I guess. Glad you can respectively disagree. You know, struck this with someone who's rather than shouting match, someone who calls you a dumb COD casual. Well, I feel like I understand where you're coming from. Like, I genuinely get why you say that, and I can understand why someone wouldn't like the lore of how they deliver lore and world building in this game. I can understand how it would be, I guess, like, I understand, like, the idea of, like, it being, like, almost frustrating, where you're like, just, like, tell me, like, especially if you do dig through all this stuff. I can understand the frustration of playing detective and not actually being able, like, to, you know, to have, like, the guy confess, you know what I mean, and actually say, yes, I did it, you know, yes, this is true, this person is this event is that. So I understand that. Oh god, I am dying. Hello. Hi. In chat. Armored Core, more specifically new ones, deals with more conventional stories. They don't commit as many mistakes as bad writer trying to do bullshit with cheap mysteries would. Can't keep up at all with the conversation. We're having a conversation about how I'm right. No, we're having a conversation about lore in From Software's games like Elden Ring and Dark Souls and Bloodborne and such. Talking about whether or not how they tell lore, if it's done well or not, if it's intentionally obtuse or if it's just handled poorly. You like ACC? Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that's a really good... I think that is more evidence to them being not poor writers, is that when they tell a story that is more straightforward like an Armored Core. It's more straightforward, and it's like they just tell you things, and they go, yes, this is A, this is B, this is C. So that's and I think it works in a more, I think it works better in a more linear game, like that. I'm so tired. Sorry. Wait, so how am I supposed to progress the quest now to go fight the finger lady? I remember her now. So we did that, and then we have this, and it's right here. So how do I do this? Now I'm a little. It's been 6.5 hours. I don't know. I feel like I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling good. Oh.
Ah, who have we here? Count Emir, and for that, I am your land. The night is your. In our eyes, our meeting with the Count, we know that we will never again. I have spoken. Pay me no mind. I'll serve.
Okay. Gotta find the third meat whistle, but where is it? It says it's like right here.
Oh yes, this he. Ah, you met. Well, I hope that your poor girl has overcome her tongue, but don't think.
Okay.
I fear the conceits. Is there no the answer? Never what? Marika, and this no matter. And we have. Ever young Nicholas, he knew that isn't a tragedy.
Starfield has really good lore. What are you talking about? Of course, a world with cloning can't clone chickens. That makes perfect sense. They're all just right-wingers.
Do you recall that Marika? Well, it is their mother. Fingers are but
The chair has lore? Fine. Shut up. Shut up. You're not real. It's not real.
May you join the. Oh, this evening, may you join the glim.
Now what?
No.
Can I fight you? The lore was he was embarrassed by the hidden pass, or by the hole in the floor, so he covered it with the secret passage chair. There's the DLC spells you asked for? Yeah, but they're not good, are they? They're some of the best? Shut up. Don't tell me this stuff. Does the chair have better lore than Starfield? Probably. The nail spells are... Okay, are they meta in PvP or PvE? Don't lie to me. Oh, that's cool. Maybe the PV. Which nail spell? The big nail, I'm guessing. Big nails. The single nail is better for PvE? Really? Why? The nail spells generally underperform. Don't listen to that guy. Oh god, I'm being one guy. Oh, what do you mean? Stop. You honestly like it when you can press E on everything in the game and go, everything in low forsooth the little frogeth, heh and you're alone. They just, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not arguing about lore. Need to play Reforged. See, the thing is I like the combat in this game. I like the gameplay in this game. I actually wouldn't want to mod it. I like playing Sorcerer. Might be more fun than Comet. Nothing is more fun than Comet. This entire build is getting up to casting Comet. How often do I stream? If you're on Twitch, which you are, you can look and see I stream Monday. No, I don't. Shit. I stream Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday. It's very late. Do you need to sleep? No, it's a Friday night, whatever. I can stay up a little later, I can stream a little later. "24-hour stream." I don't know if I could do that ever. Like a true proper 24-hour stream where you're like up for all of it. That would be I don't think I've ever actually stayed up for 24 hours. The longest I've ever stayed up for, I think, was 18, 19, 20, something like that. I don't think longer than 20 hours. What'd you do? Oh, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. It's cool. What would you do if Emil was hired as a lead writer for From's next project? I would wake up from the nightmare I'm in. Couldn't push through the rest. I wasn't trying to like stay up for 24 hours. I don't know what I don't remember the context, but I think it was just a case of I just ended up staying up really late one night. And then I looked at I think it was a case of like I was just like really obsessed with I think it might have been like a weekend and I was playing a game. And then eventually I looked at the clock and I also realized that the sun was coming up. And I went, "Oh, I need to go to sleep. You have 40 minutes of computer time left. You know, go to work soon." Spent 32 hours playing Star Trek Online nonstop. Jeez. Brain would get a bit melty. My favorite is when there are streamers who have streamathons where they just go to sleep. I'm like, that's not a streamathon. That's just you that's just you sleeping with your stream on. Look at all the space tubes. I remember when I first got here, this looked I'm like, "Oh, this is where you fight Rom the Vacuous Spider in Bloodborne." Probably should have drank my physics first. I too have spent a lot of time in Star Trek Online, so don't worry. I had a little, I don't remember what ship Oh my fucking god. Laser beams. Get away from the black hole. Holy shit, it is a black hole. Sorry, I'm trying to read chat. I gotta stop. I'll read messages afterwards. I'm too far. Too early. Too early. Ugh, fuck. Oh, there's a steak. Good. I will definitely. You know what? You're shit. Okay. Fuck. Tomorrow's stream is going to probably be the last Skyrim stream of the mod pack because I'm fucking sick of Skyrim. And I think what I'm going to replace it with next week is I'm going to get the Bloodborne setup, the Bloodborne emulation setup for next Saturday. And then whenever I'm done with Elden Ring, I'm going to replace its spot with Morrowind. Because I really want to play Bloodborne again. Second phase of this fight's music samples the spectral emissions of a black hole to produce tones. That's really cool. You know, God, I don't know. That's cool. STO, I played a lot of Star Trek Online, and I did broadsides, and I would get the biggest Federation cruiser, and fit it with as many beams on one side, or on both sides, and just broadside with beams. And then I would also do cannons on, like, little quick raiders. There was this one, I had a Terran raider, and it was great. Oh, it was like, Today's stream, you mean today's stream? Yeah, good morning. Yes, it is 1:45. Like, the beam boats are fun. I would always do, like, I'd get, like, all of the same flavor of beam, like usually phasers of some kind, because I liked sticking with the Federation ships having phasers because lore or whatever. I'm gonna show your Morrowind comprehensive rebalance mod if you're gonna play it. Send me a link, I'll see. I'm waiting on a mod pack to be updated. And if it doesn't update, I might just do my own thing, or just, like, use a older version or something. We'll see. You know what? Drink your physic. Get that extra magic damage in. Do I have a Discord? No. I don't particularly like Discord. I have a Discord account, and I don't really use it. I only use it because some people only have Discord as, like, a forum for troubleshooting shit. So, no, I don't have it. If I couldn't... No, I'm not going to make a Discord server. I don't have time or interest in having that be a place and having it be... having to pay attention to it, and I've heard too many nightmare stories of people using Discords as places to do terrible things, so that can go to hell. Fuck Discord, I hate Discord. I hope they go out of business and we can go back to forums. Forums sucked in their own ways, but they were better than Discord. I thought I was between that. Beam! Oh. 420,000, yo. Tubes. This is very Bloodborne. This is very blood. This is very similar to Rom the Vacuous. I know it's also similar to a lot of other places, but like underneath a body of water, fighting a creature from beyond space and time shit, like a Lovecraftian monstrosity. Yeah, very, very Bloodborne. Make a Discord server and ban everyone. Base Discord hater, any Discord any percent run, base Discord user. Forums are more public. Discord allows owners to go super crazy with thought control. Baratis's and Rom's arenas combined, yeah. You have a Discord, unfortunately, you found as a mod developer, people are way too lazy to submit bug reports on GitHub or whatever. So you have to have a Discord. It's the worst thing about it. It's not just a bad platform, it's actually made everyone lazier. Yeah, again, it's like, I don't want to, like, have, you know, a Discord where people are like, it's again, because it's like, I don't have time to fucking moderate a Discord. I don't know anyone who I would, like, trust enough to moderate a Discord. Tube things don't have lore? Kind of disappointing. You know, Discord, it's just like, I've not heard any good, I've never heard of, like, something like, oh, this is good, something like came out of like the Discord, you know. It's like, I don't like, it's always been like, just like, you know, like, and like even where like the person, it's like, oh, it's some streamer or some YouTuber's Discord, they themselves are not implicated in anything, but like because it's like a place where there's a bunch of people gathering, it's like, oh, there's like these people who are doing like, you know, awful shit, and it's like, oh, good, that's like attached to your name now. Dancing Lion. Range potency of storms. Grant affinity and skills to an armament. Putrescence Cleaver. Vortex of Putrescence. Remembrance of the Wild Boar. Sword Lance. Blades of Stone. Oh wow, that's a sorcery. I'm gonna pick that up because it's a sorcery. Shadow Sunflower Blossom. Holy shit. Land of Shadow. I'm gonna use Discord for technical. Like that's the only reason I have to use Discord is that like if I'm doing like a oh there we go, sorry, I froze a little. If I'm doing a mod list, I have to go to the mod list Discord to find like help if I have to fix it. If I'm doing a if I'm doing like VTube Studio has a Discord, so you have to go there if you have some troubleshooting, you know. Second law, anytime the support platform is Discord, you try to figure out how to do it yourself or give up, yeah. Second law of motion clearly states that for each Discord server there's an equal and opposite not safe for work channel filled with cringe and awful images. With tight moderation and limited invites, it's good for your roleplay server and a good way to keep up with your friends from the Skype days. That's about it. And that's the thing is, like, I wouldn't want, I understand if, hey, join your Discord, maybe. If you have, like, a tight Discord that is your Discord about, like, your friend group or something very specific and it's invite only, then, yeah, you can curate it better. But if it's like, oh, here's my public Discord link on my YouTube channel or Twitch channel, it's like, I don't know, fucking who knows could go in there. Now, and all it takes is one fucking really demented bad actor to just go in there and do something really dumb or illegal, and it's like, great, that's now attached to you and your name, and, you know. Greetings, you seen your gun video on Starfield? You've seen my gun video on Starfield would be the correct way to phrase that, Nez. Thank you. Sword of Damnation. It's a cool sword. Praise the frenzy. Remembrance of the mother of fingers. Big finger. Is that? Oh, it's a Faith Int Glintstone staff. Huh. I will probably just crunch all those. Discord sucks and you hate it. You have a public-facing Discord, 2,000 members, and the James keeps things pretty sane. Don't have enough safe for work channel or allow not safe for work posts. Keeps it pretty clean. Yes, Discord sucks and you hate it. Yeah, I don't like it. I dislike. I don't like it. I like Midra's a cool fight. I had fun with that fight. Let's see. What was the Gaia spell? Gravity spell. Oh, I don't have enough slots. Let's see what this is. The Staff of the Great Beyond can cast both incantations and sorceries without switching. That makes it... That would be really useful if you were doing like a weird hybrid build. That could be kind of fun in another playthrough. Huh. Kind of cool. Oh, when you... Ooh, it's like a travel when you hold it. It's kind of cool. It's like a boss attack. I don't know. This feels cool, but it's probably not that effective. I'm going to chalk that up to things that are more effective if you're a boss than if you're a player. We got 2. Intel. We're almost at 80 intel, which is the cap. You want to hear an Elden Ring fun fact? I've had nothing but those all night. You can drop the Erd Tree heal for your summons and continue to spellcast. Ah. You know, if you had to design the guns of Starfield, you would have made most of them conventional firearms. Laser guns would be niche. They would have high damage and 0 recoil. However, they would also have a slow rate of fire because they need to charge up before shots. There's a lot of ways you could have handled... God, like you could have done the guns in so many different ways that are better. It does feel weird how there's only a few energy guns in Starfield and they all feel kind of boring. They don't really like, they're just like, this gun shoots a laser and it's like, how is it this really different from like other than it being called a laser gun and having like the appearance of a laser, how is this different? Also, whoa, thank you for the $10 Colonel number. Articulating better than you could. Why Fallout 4 and Starfield felt so off for you. They're barely RPG. Love the content. Appreciate that. What was there was a Pidra. Oh my god, I mentioned this like 3 hours ago. Someone carrying retaliation. So that's here. That's this. Your partner's using a Starfield mod that turns the conventional weapons into energy weapons because the conventional ones are so badly designed. Oh shit, is it the other one? It's the other bonfire. Or Grace, even. Making lasers feel like heavy artillery instead of just glowing lead throwers would have been a smart design choice. Yeah. Because they don't... Where is this fucking guy again? Oh, they fucking killed him. I can see. How do I get up there? Oh, God, I'm so tired. You have to drop down from the cliffs. Where you... Oh, fuck. Right. God, it's been so long. Laser guns would work. Second on muskets or muskets something needs precision. Wait, where am I? You can sneak by the dragon, no problem at least. Dragon? Those guns are good for having should be good for having no ballistics that require ballistic weapons to have bullet drop, otherwise the two are just hit scan. Yeah, they are just go to Ranny's tower. How am I supposed to jump? How? I thought, can I do it like here? Hug the left. Yes, that's it. Hug the left from the reflecting pool. There's more dialogue with Randy at the top of her tower. Wait, no, there can't be. She's dead, right? She disappeared. We did the whole quest line. Isn't it like right here? No? Oh god, it's too late for this. Can't get in from there? Oh, okay. Oh no, Wolfman is dead. I murdered him. Like, real good. Everyone who's worked with Ranny is dead. Except me. Like, oh, I remember doing this. I don't remember it being here. I got it confused with that other area.
You're my puppet. I loved you with all I have. How could you forget such bliss? Ah, that hurts. Ah, ah.
They're murdering him. Good job, guys. Sorry, I was gonna read. Everyone's writing essays in chat. You wish a lot less Starfield or you wish a lot more Starfield criticism was substantive. The game has a lot of problems, and so many people are just like, you can't fly in space, game is shit. And that you can feel it's so easy to dismiss surface level criticism. The game's fundamentally awful, and so much more wrong with it than people don't know and don't explain. So the thing is that, like, yeah, it's easy to say you can't fly in space, the game is shit. You have to do, but you can like you can make even that criticism more substantive. Like, you can put more to that criticism. You can say that, like, you can't fly in space, and this is bad because the game is an exploration game. It's all, like, okay, one of the main conceits of, like, the story and of, like, the main characters of the story is that they work for an organization that is all about space exploration. They make... one of the first NPCs you meet in the game, the guy on the elevator in the mine, he says, like, who the hell even explores space anymore? It's clearly meant to be that, like, the world, like, everyone's forgotten the wonder of space exploration. Everyone's forgotten that they're in the final frontier, you know, reaching out for the stars, trying to figure out what's out there, and that Constellation are, like, one of the only groups left that does that. And it clashes so heavily when you can't even fly and explore space. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? This is completely opposite to what you're telling me I'm supposed to think is good and something that we should do, and that these people are the good people because they still engage in the exploration of the unknown. And then you make it so that for, like, the vast majority of the game's lifetime, space travel was literally a loading screen. Like, that right there is awful. Sorry, there's a lot of people chatting. I know. Why is it now that the later it gets, the more people are chatting? It's late. You have to design the world of Starfield first. You keep Earth intact. Split the world. Explode innovation into guilds. Guilds be based on meta corporations. Someone else said something that was interesting. Yeah, all the animals are dead. Yep, I saw that one. Yep, all animals on Earth are gone. Nobody decided to take a dog. No one decided to take a cat. Apparently mice and rats, those spaceships that fled Earth, they were real good at keeping out all that vermin. You know those creatures that have managed to find a way to go everywhere humans have been ever? They just disappeared. They're all gone. You know, spiders, roaches, rats, mice, gone. They didn't make it anywhere. There is only like one place on Earth where rats. The rats only don't exist in Alberta. Rat distribution map. If you look at rats on Earth, there are only 2 locations where there are no rats. The Arctic, the Antarctic, so 3 locations technically, and Alberta, Canada. And that's not a lie. Look it up. That's the only places in the world where there are no, like, breeding population of rats, because it's just inhospitable. Because 2 of those places are freezing cold, and the 3rd place is Alberta, Canada. But yeah, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. What's my favorite animal? I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I was gonna say Snorlax, and I'm like, no, that's not an animal, that's a Pokemon. Someone asked me the other night what my favorite Pokemon was. So, it's real late. Sorry, there's so many other things. Very little to do in space. If you can travel from planet to planet, you don't get a mining laser. It's not a crafting good motivator. Who explores space anymore is absurd, given that people in the setting have technical means to exploit space for profit. Guy in the mind talking about how nobody explores space was a Bethesda employee talking about a game. Yeah, would have been nice. It would have been nice if space was actually, like, explorable. To keep Earth animals intact. I don't understand how there is no way, like, that like, come on. Like, and the thing is that, like, there was some, like, okay, so humans in reality now have brought animals to space. Often animals are brought to space to, you know, in place of a human, or to experiment and see how they react to zero gravity and such. So you're telling me in this future sci-fi setting where there was some settlement and some places off of Earth, either space stations or on places like Mars, that there was no one who did anything like... There was no laboratory researching how animals react on, like, a different planet in, like, 0G or higher gravity or anything. No, like, there's no one on any of these other places, like other space, they didn't bring a dog or a cat before Earth was melting. Like, what do you mean? Birds can't eat in zero gravity, but they could have brought fertilized eggs. They could have brought... People brought up that they could have brought up... they could have even just, like, well, I think it was... I've read a couple comments on the video saying that they could have made it so that it was just the DNA sequences of animals. That if you have the data of the DNA sequence, you could essentially clone that eventually, somehow. I don't know. Wasn't there a short story about an astronaut thinking something sized spacesuit during an EVA, and it was written like a Lovecraftian horror until it was a kitten that's smuggled and then snuck into the spacesuits? That's cute. Well, that's neat. I'm never going to be able to use this effectively, but... So yeah, the Institute can make... The Institute in the Apocalypse can make synthetic gorillas, but they can't clone fucking chickens. Anything. That was your comment. It was based on the fact that they cloned Genghis Khan, who definitely didn't bring with them from Earth. So they definitely had a way to clone DNA, clone from raw DNA rather than a live specimen. That's some of the best parry frames of any shield. Okay. Okay, so I don't remember if that quest gave any explanation. So when I was playing that quest, Operation Starseed, my thought was that the explanation for why they had Genghis Khan cloned was going to be something along the lines of they got his DNA from his descendants. That was what I thought they were going to do. That, oh, Genghis Khan had a lot of descendants, and that they used his DNA, like they sequenced it through like a bunch of his descendants to then make a clone. And I don't remember the quest ever actually saying that, so I don't know if that actually was how they did it. And even if that was how they did it, it still doesn't explain how... it still doesn't explain how they got FDR's DNA, and then it also doesn't explain how they got Ada Lovelace's DNA, or Amelia Earhart's DNA, or the Queen Lady's DNA, especially because the Queen Lady, like Genghis Khan, like Queen Lady was, I think, like also like hundreds of years ago, before like modern day now. And then it also, even let's say that, okay, they magicked some way to get their DNA. Okay. We then had this question of like, why do they behave and like speak the exact same, well, maybe not the exact same way, but like the guy, like FDR clearly had like FDR-esque accent. They clearly were all like 100% as intelligent, or like in like they had like the same like mindsets and like intelligence and like personality, and it was like, are they running some sort of program and like programming this into them? Is Starfield taking the position that it's all 100% nature and not nurture? Like your DNA is everything. That like that there is no such thing as like your environment has like zero effect on you. It was such a weird quest, and it goes to show you that like they didn't. It's something you see in a lot of their games. I'd say especially in Fallout. You do see it in Elder Scrolls, but I think especially in their Fallout games, they seem to just like make quests based off of whether or not like someone wants to do that idea, and they don't seem to care as much how it fits into the world at large, and if it makes sense with the rest of the themes and the setting and the tone. Whiteboard ideas. I've described it as quests out of a hat. It's like they just pull a strip of paper out of a hat, and on it is like a single sentence of like a quest idea. Don't drop dimension jumping. It's the only mildly interesting thing. They need to lean into it more and make dimension jumping from the game to start. Like Garvey's Radiant quest, yeah. Bethesda's design quest based on the idea is cool. That's confirmed behind the scenes interviews for Fallout 3. I think Fallout 3 is a really good example of how so many of their quests in that game, like the side quests, are literally just quests from a hat. It's like there is no relevance to the world. There's no relevance to the story. There's no relevance to any themes that the game is trying to... like, the main plot of Fallout 3 is about water and the waters of life and all that shit. Is there any, like, thematic connection for like something like the Superhuman Gambit to the world, to that theme? Like, no, it's just quests out of a hat. There's these clowns that are pretending to be superheroes. I had another idea for a video that will come eventually, and it's going to be an examination of Fallout 3. I was thinking about it. I want to look at Fallout 3, and the idea is going to be, is Fallout 3 a Fallout game? Or maybe more specifically, how well does Fallout 3 do Fallout? Something like that. Again, it's very much a seed. It's very, very early on, but that's the sort of idea I want to go. And I want to look at Fallout 3, and the goal is that I'm going to compare it only to Fallout 1 and 2. I'm only going to look at Fallout 1 and 2 while comparing it, of how well it kind of fits the tone and the themes and the sort of flavor of Fallout. Because, good God, I don't think that game is very good. It all stemmed from Ken Rolston promoting inconsistency during the. They had a whiteboard ideas in that game too. Make better if cloning, morbid story of cloning cult believers, blood defines all, and they punish the clones. Make clones of historical unpleasant people to punish them since they got away the first time. Does the side quest feel like episodes of a syndicated TV show like X-Files or something where every episode is self-contained? Yeah, that's another way to do it. Like, very monster of the week is a good way to put it. You know, and it's weird because it's a weird way to take it to do, like, 'cause I think that's a really good way to put it. That like having it like those quests often do feel like monster of the week, and it's really weird because like it doesn't work in the game at all. And the reason it doesn't work in their games at all is because the reason why monster of the week storylines work in like a syndicated TV show like the X-Files. The X-Files is a great example. I really like the X-Files a lot. The reason that it works in something like the X-Files is because despite it being like a single episode monster of the week, you have the continuity of the two protagonists. You have these two characters that we know and that we love and that we've seen for a while, and we know what they are and we know what they you know, their personality and how they react. And so we put them in this situation that's a one-off to see how they essentially tackle the situation. And that's what makes it interesting. You know, and the same could be said of stuff like older Star Trek. Like, I think of, like, Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine has a lot of overarching plot lines, but there is a lot of, like, single episodes of the week kind of thing. But it's interesting because it's like, oh, how is, you know, Cisco and Dax going to deal with this? How is Quark and Odo going to deal with this? How is, you know, oh, these characters are into some trouble. How are they going to do that? You also like X-Files? You weren't criticizing? No, I 100% understand you weren't criticizing it. Make constellations start from land organizations driven by exploration. Maybe scavengers of sort. See, that would be interesting too. If like, that's a good comparison. That's an interesting thing there, Baron, where you say how it's like it does feel kind of incongruent how Constellation is like they're presented as explorers when they exclusively are like looking for artifacts that are like alien essentially. And it's like, why? Wait, this isn't really like, it's not necessarily anti-exploration or like against your purview, but it doesn't really feel like, you guys feel more like relic hunters than you do like explorers. So it is a weird sort of thing. Remember when Morrowind guild quests interwove each other into each other's stories? Bethesda doesn't remember that. You wouldn't mind self-contained stories if they added up to something and helped develop your reputation in the game? Maybe there could be failure states where you end up losing money or catching vampirism or something. You want to talk about... I don't know, let's again, here you go. I'm going to get called a dumb New Vegas fan. There's a game called Fallout New Vegas. And Fallout New Vegas, a lot of the side quests... You know what you have to do? Go to work... White Mouse, I'm streaming again later today, don't worry. There's a lot of side quests in... Oh god, my brain is melting. There is a lot of side quests in... I can't actually say the game name anymore. In New Vegas that are more related to the particularities of the Mojave, of the people living in the Mojave, of the different factions, people having to deal with the factions... Like, it's so much more, like, built into the world, and it feels like they tried to be like, okay, so we're making side quests for this game. Well, what's going on in the world of this game? Well, what if we do this, that, and the other thing? And, like, actually try to build it so it makes sense. Like, it feels part of the world, and it doesn't feel like a thing that we're doing, like, that doesn't seem to have any connection to anything else going on. Rickety shield. A creaky old wooden shield, circular in shape, roughly reinforced with vines. There are countless other shields available of better make. This piece of scrap isn't worth the effort of equipping. That's really funny. Vegas also lets you be bad in a totally not evil kind of way. The one with the NCR farmers in that one neighborhood is a great example of interconnected settings and themes. Yeah, I think of stuff like GI Blues, which is dealing with the Kings and the NCR in Freeside. That's a good, and the refugees and such. That's a good one. Elder Scrolls is a creation of Bethesda. Well, Elder Scrolls is a creation of Bethesda. The people who created the IP are long gone. Yeah, true. You know, it's those people do not. A lot of those people do not work there anymore. They've moved on to other things or they've retired. And you know, yeah, it's who knows what like how many people are left that actually made the setting? Probably not many. Even the kill the dumb red scorpions in the highway quest, which feels like total filler, still conveys how stretched the NCR are and that they have to go off books to hire you to keep the streets clean. Yeah, that is. That's a good. That's see the thing is like that is it does like it could have been. That is almost, it's like a WoW quest almost, like go kill the rad scorpions, go kill the ants or whatever, like, but they tie it in because of who's giving the quest and why they're giving the quest. It's like, who's giving the quest? Oh, an NCR officer. Why is he giving the quest? Because the NCR doesn't have the men to spare to do something as trivial as kill some rad scorpions or kill some ants. The whitewash, yeah, on the sharecropper farm, yep, getting siphoned to west side, yep. Emperor versus Senate, King versus Parliament, Tsar versus Duma, Autocracy versus Oligarchy. You playing Hearts of Iron? I know I'm joking. Yeah, like there's a lot of... Oh, man. Starfield. You know, and like that's the thing is like, we go back, like, what am I supposed to think about the Starfield universe and, like, its world from a quest like Operation Starseed? What does Operation Starseed, like, tell me about the world? It tells me that somehow there was, like, a random cloning lab on the ass end of the settled systems that was making clones of famous humans somehow, and... what now? Like what am I supposed to get from that? What is that supposed to tell me about the universe of Starfield? You know, what is First Contact trying to be other than like a very poor attempt at a Star Trek reference? You know, oh, the ship is lost and they have a bad radio. I know we've talked about this already, but you know, oh, they're wearing color-coded uniforms because Star Trek. Wow, great. That's, like, fucking amazing. You know. Like, and when you, like, that quest in particular falls apart as soon as you start thinking about it for more than 10 seconds. So you're telling me that a generation ship left Earth hundreds of years ago to go settle a star system, and that over those hundreds of years, the settled systems built up around them, and no one contacted them, no one ran into them, there was no record anywhere of anyone following up on this. They never encountered another ship or signal or anything. No, they weren't marauded by pirates. Apparently not. Like, apparently they just... And then also there's other things. Like, I remember one of the funniest things was like, yeah, what's the problem? I remember you go into the captain's office, and the captain is Brackenridge is her last name, and you look at all of the captains, like there's pictures of all of the captains on the wall of the office, and every single one is a Brackenridge. And it's like, wait, do you not know how ships work? It's not a monarchy. When the captain dies on this generation ship, it would probably be the XO. It would be like the next in line in rank if you have some sort of like, rank system. You're doing a Star Trek ripoff, so you do. It wouldn't be unless the XO was also a Brackenridge and they were all it's not a monarch. It would be whoever isn't promoted next in line or something. Or maybe there's some sort of like, it's a generation ship. Maybe there's some sort of vote. Was this like what? Was there always a Brackenridge who was ready to be, who was like being groomed to be the commander of the ship when their father, mother, whatever died? And let me read all these essays. Even Radiant quests can actually work well if Bethesda were smart. Imagine having the Civil War and Skyrim dynamically generate quests to take regions. Yeah, the Civil War in Skyrim feels like something that was like fucking barely put in. That's like a cutting room floor. Instead, we see more go to dungeon and kill bear quest. Bethesda's just absolutely creatively bankrupt. Even their bad technology could be used better than they're using it. Someone was always running the microwave next to the radio. Imagine if the colony ship suddenly became super important because they had a dog on board. That would have made it more interesting. Oh my god. Imagine the colony ship has a bunch of Earth animals on it. Wow, that would have made it so much more interesting. One of the things you hate about the Defenders of the Fallout show is that when we criticize the state of the world in the show, the Defenders brush it away, saying we're just angry because our endings weren't canon. No, we're mad because the state of the world in the New Vegas, and the TV show contradicts every single ending of New Vegas. Yes, that is one of the many problems with the TV shows, and I think it is a serious one. Yeah, it's 100%. That is one of the, yeah, and it's like, no, it's not that. It's not that we're mad that we didn't get our ending. It's that you've contradicted everything. Like somehow like New Vegas like didn't happen. Like the game has essentially been retconned. Like New Vegas has essentially been retconned. It's essentially been removed. You know, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And it's like, what do you mean? Oh, it's like everything in the Mojave has been destroyed. It's all destroyed. There's like nothing. All of the factions have been destroyed in one way or another. The NCR is gone. Caesar's Legion is gone. It's like, oh, what do you mean they're there? And it's like, they're not there. They're barely there. They're shadows of their former self. They're not like it's just, don't remind me. I'm going to have to start doing stuff for the Fallout show soon. Like, actually have to watch it for my video. How many people were on that ship? Did they have enough to be genetically viable for so long? Nobody thought of that, Halcyon. Nobody thought about the genetic diversity of the generation ship. Are you fucking kidding me? But no, I get it. I get your point. Don't worry. People say the Fallout show is fine because Fallout was never serious and joking, need to lose their internet privileges. Again, you know that these people have not played... They have not played the Fallout 1, 2, and possibly also New Vegas. Because it's like, there is... Fallout 1 is very serious. Fallout 2 has a lot of references, but is also very serious. Like, there is so much... There is so... Like, these... Like, it's not... And it's funny because even for the most part, I would say majority, Fallout 3 is very serious. It's not good. Its seriousness is wasted by poor... Like, it's not good. It has poor writing through its quests and stories and everything. But, like, a lot of it is serious. It's not, like, a jokey plot. You know what I mean? There's not, like... I feel like a big reason people think Fallout is, like, jokey is that people are, like, conflate... A lot of times people conflate, like... I feel like people conflate, like, game mechanics and, like, weird fuckery in the game with, like, that being, like, canon. Like, oh, there's a bunch of gore in Fallout. And it's like, yeah, there's been a bunch of gore in Fallout, but that's not, like, funny. That's not, like, campy. It was usually portrayed as, like, fairly brutal. Like, it's not... Like, when you shoot someone in the head in those games and their head explodes, it's not, like, haha funny the vast majority of the time. They don't try to, like, play it for yucks. You know what I mean? Like, the stories are also very serious. And, like, go back to Fallout 1, and everything about the stories is very serious. Dealing with the fucking Master and Lieutenant is very serious. Fallout 2, everyone, like, my favorite thing is when people try to use Fallout 2 as an excuse for, like, Fallout as a series being jokey, because it's very clear that the people who do that have either not played it or not played it in a very long time. I'm going to be honest, I think a lot of these people just haven't played these games. They really haven't played these games. And I think they should, because they're good games, and I think it would show that they're not, like, they're incorrect about these things. Like, the intro to Fallout 2 is not funny. It's not played for... The intro to Fallout 2 shows a family of vault dwellers going to the door of their vault, opening it up, the Enclave are there, they are gunned down in cold blood by the Enclave. And it's not funny. It's meant to be shocking, because it's such it's a hard cut from the family, like one of the people waves to the Enclave, hard cut to their miniguns firing, and you see it cuts up to the Enclave helmet with like the reflection of the muzzle flashes in it, and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. We wager 95% of Fallout fans have only played Fallout 4, maybe 76. Everyone else has left. Yeah, they're people who have not played many of the games. The argument Fallout was never serious because the OG's games had some jokes, so some mind-numbingly foolish. Fallout 2 had a lot of jokes. Most of them were Easter eggs. Berserk manga has jokes, but you wouldn't call Berserk a comedy. Well, again, it's like... God, like, in with, like, the Fallout show, you have people... Like, I remember one of, like, the creators, like, he described the Fallout show as, like, it's going to be, like, a gonzo crazy thing. And I'm like, what fucking games did you play? Like, you didn't play the games, clearly. Fallout 1 is really good. Fallout 2 has its issues, but I think is also still very much worth playing. They're very, very, very good games. More people should play them. You really need, like, I don't know. I think a lot of people, it's the have you seen that meme where it's like the guy, it's like the soy jack face, or like the Wojak face. I think it's some sort of soy jack. He's wearing a T-shirt where it's like, I love X, but I would never ever 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 do Y, or something like that. I saw one of them where it was like, I love video games, but I would never, ever, 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 ever play something from before 2015. I think that's a lot of people. Like, a lot of people, they literally are like, it's like graphics brained. They can't play anything that looks bad to them. They can't play anything that's too old, even though old is like a decade ago. And it's so insane, because it's like, I don't get it. It's like, would you not watch a movie that's older than a decade? Would you not watch a TV show that's older than a decade? Read a book that's older than a decade? Like, what do you mean? You like, it's just like, you just, does your brain just short circuit if you see something that isn't, and like a similar thing is people who, like, if it's not hyper realistic it's either if it's too old, the graphics, or if the graphics aren't like the current level of hyper realism, or the current, like, if they're stylized in any sort of way, they're bad. Fallout 1 and 2. You wager all your money that created Fallout TV show hasn't played any of the games, thinks gaming is dumb. Fallout 1 and 2 have a lot more to offer than Bethesda's bastardized version. Yeah. You know, people who know Fallout 4, they think Fallout 4 is too old to play. I don't know. I just don't I don't understand. Like, I don't... So personally, and this is just like anecdotal, it feels so bizarre to me, because one of the things I did in high school, when I started having a little bit more personal money from stuff, like personal spending money, was I went out of my way to go back and to try to play the older games that people said at the time were the classics. So I went back and I played System Shock 2, because I heard System Shock 2 was amazing. And I loved it. I went back and before I even played Fallout 3, I went and played Fallout 1 and 2. Because I thought, like, this looks really cool, Fallout, I'm gonna go play the old games. You know, and so I felt like, you know, it was just a case of like having accessibility to those old games. I remember going on eBay and I bought an NES and a bunch of old NES games because it's like I want to play the classics, and I didn't really know too much about emulation. And I went out and I bought from eBay an NES, and I bought the original Legend of Zelda, and I played it and I finished it. And it took a guide. I had to have a guide telling me where to go, but I finished it and I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was really cool. You know, and it's so weird to just have like it. So I bring this up because I feel like it's so weird to have the idea, or like the perception that like a game is too old, therefore I'm not gonna play it. And it's like, man, that really seems like you're limiting yourself there. Played Deus Ex and System Shock 2 in high school as well. You played like the first two missions of Deus Ex. You truly played the game through at about 13. It literally broke modern gaming for you. The showrunner probably never played any of the games. More importantly, they probably don't even care. They just need a skin suit. Yes, 100%. I don't know anything about The Boys, but I've heard a lot of people don't like what the show did. But I agree with the skin suit. They think that they think gaming is popular and profitable, and so they just want to make it to cash in. They don't actually... I mentioned it earlier in the stream. We talked about this earlier in the stream, where it's like they don't actually give a shit. It's all about... They think gaming is dumb and stupid and, like, garbage. They think it is, like, 100% lesser and that it could never, ever do anything good or of quality. 100%. And because look how they treat gaming adaptations and stuff. They treat them like, just like shit garbage. Badly optimized. Yeah, Fallout 4 is a mess optimization-wise. Am I gonna try to fight Messmer at 1:30 in the morning? Fuck it. It's been 7.5 hours. Today's later stream might be a little late, depending on how late I sleep and how tired I am. But we'll see. Or Saturday's stream might be a little shorter. Snack.
Tarnished, it seemeth. Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light?
Oh god, he has 2 phases too, right? Fuck.
Yet,
does he have 2 phases, or does he shift phases halfway through his health bar? Oh fuck, does it matter?
Stripped of the grace of gold, shall all meet death. In the embrace of Messmer's flame.
Man, they love that. It's way too late for shit like this. I might have to summon a player's help for this.
Grace of gold shall all meet death.
Do you have to kill Messmer to finish this DLC? Because, like, you can go... I've gone over here, and then I can go here, and that's where... Up here's where you use the light to shine on the tower, and then you go up to the final dungeon. Do you have to kill him to progress? Is there some sort of, like, barrier otherwise? Look how they treat Fallout lore. They made ghouls nigh unkillable and gave them magic juice that keeps them sane. Even though these things never existed in any games, well, here's the thing. Since the Fallout show is canon to the games, they now exist in the games. Good luck trying to square that circle, Bethesda. You fucking morons. Ugh. This guy likes fire. In one paragraph, give me Messmer's lore. Messmer. Give me this man's lore. Is it just mommy issues?
I will not suffer. A lord devoid of light.
Do you know the grace of gold is shown directly in the eyes? A lot of enemies have varying degrees of gold specks in their eyes. That's where the rune items come from. Oh. Jokes on Bethesda, now that they've written themselves into a corner by making everything nothing but the Brotherhood and a few other boring factions, they have no choice but to be bland and generic. They can't escape their own trap. Yeah, Fallout is essentially dead. Fallout 5 will essentially seal the game, the series' fate. Don't remember him doing that. How does it feel living long enough to see everything you care about go down in flames? Gonna go to bed. Good luck. Thank you for being here. Have a good night. I'm about to... If this is... I'm gonna die, and then I'm gonna stop. Was his eyeball like a power limiter? Like, what's-his-face's lion? Tiger?
Wilt thou be taken in the jaws of the abyssal serpent? Sure.
It was a sore seal like the trinkets. Oh. I get it. That man just turned into a snake. That's illegal, sir. I'm pretty sure one of the amendments of the Constitution says that that's illegal. So what are the serpents in the lore? What is the snake lore? Based serpent Messmer. Oh, we did it. Okay. 3 cheers for Oleg. Woo! Thanks, Oleg. Oleg always has my back. Oh, you need the kindling to burn the fucking thing. Burns the ceiling tree. That's, yes, okay. Thanks. Guess the serpent is another outer god. Snake lore is that a bunch of libertarians got trotted on, so they became literal snakes. You know, next to nothing. That only took 2 attempts. Who are you? Oh, it's the horn scent.
What cruel who would rob me? How I saw that vengeance. Oh, mother, it seems vengeance. Where now? Where?
Okay. Oh shit, I could probably do Oleg, the true Elden Lord. Could probably finish the DLC next time I stream this, because we just have to do this fucking awful area. I remember this vaguely. We have to fight the awful centipede boss, and then we have to do the final dungeon. Although Radon, Super Radon might be a sticking point. I don't think I'm missing any other of the big bosses in this area, in this DLC. We did a lot tonight. We started off, we did Midra. Then we fought Bale. Bale! And then we fought Finger Lady. We fought Boreman. And then we beat Messmer. Denying the horse scent vengeance is better for his story. You think he signs with you? I didn't even know there was an option. Do you, like, summon him? Is there an option to summon him for the fight? Is that the thing? I remember having a real issue with fighting Messmer my first time. I remember this being a sticking point. I remember really not liking... I think it wasn't even his second phase. I had trouble getting through his first. I think I might be a little over-leveled, or I think maybe I have more skibbity fragments than I did. You can summon him. If he gets vengeance, he finds another target to fight afterwards. Oh, vengeance is a vicious sickle. If you want the one vengeance, you'll want the other vengeance. Spear of the Impaler. Messmer's Orb. Cool. Can you dress up as him? Of course you can. You can cosplay as him. Nice looking armor. No, that was great. That was fucking wonderful. That was Elden Ring. Holy shit, did not think I was gonna do 7.5 hours of this. Almost done the DLC. Probably one, maybe 2 streams of the DLC, and then I don't know how much more of the base game there is left to do. Like, I could dig and do a lot of the little stuff, but we're not that far from the ending. We have the Halig Tree lady. What's her name? She says, I am Melania, Blade of Mikola, and I have never known defeat. Anyway, discussion's been good, yeah. Another thing you hated about Season 2 is the Legion were portrayed. What, you didn't like the Legion of having a war over a fucking corpse? Don't even. I'm gonna die. That was Elden Ring. More of this eventually.